We really need a new intro. That is dated. That's on me. Guys, A Toy Kind of Mood, episode 236. The Future of G.I. Joe Classified series continues. And today, part two, we're going to talk about the modern era, especially the 50th anniversary, because we have the brand manager of G.I. Joe Hasbro during that time. He'll be here for hour two. But first, we're going to talk about media and money, like Mercedes Monet. We're going to talk about that for a little bit before we hit the bricks with Mark Webber. And then hour three, bonus round. Fan Expo Canada had a lot of Marvel Legends reveals. So we're bringing on the A Toy Kind of Mood crew to hang out at the end and talk about a little Monster Force, a little bit of Four Horsemen. So we'll get into the toy news later. We're going backwards today. Special East Coast time. So thank you guys all for joining us today. We'll get into the chat in a sec. But before that, let me bring on my special guests. Oh, man. Why am I doing this? It's another circle jerk. Terry Ruin, man. I love having you on the show. It's about time you hung out with me instead of Baldy. Here we go.
How's it going, man?
Dude, good to see you. And so now you have a name change, but you still have to say what I want you to say.
Which thing? Attack him! That?
Well, I mean, I've been doing that in all my review videos now. I'm like, hey, guys, Travis Moody here from Attack him! You guys.
That's because, like, every time that I see an acronym for anything, it doesn't matter what it is, in my brain, I process it as just a word in all caps, like you're yelling, like a real American hero, A-R-A-H, "Ara!" So it's in my head. That's what I see and hear. So
it works, dude. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
Doing pretty good, dude. Yeah. Adjusting to having two kids now.
Oh, okay. So you had a newborn.
Yep. We have a newborn. He's about 5 weeks old now.
We still hitting toy streams like it's nobody's business. I appreciate it. Got to get away for a sec, right?
Right. No, he's pretty chill, man. And like I work third, and my wife is not working right now. She doesn't go back to work until I think next week. So
yeah, I'll leave. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. I'm gonna bring on, I think, some guy you know, because he's been around the bunch. Another beautiful, bald and bearded man. Toy Gains in the house. Finally on A Toy Kind of Mood. That's what I meant to say.
We linked up, baby. What's up, Trav? How you doing?
Dude, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out, guys. You guys are both East Coast? Is that why we're on so early tonight?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm in Indiana.
Oh, cool.
Sorry.
Good. Yeah, because we usually, late night show. But I'm glad to go on early because then I just get to chill after. I don't have to like go straight to bed. So it's good to hang out early with you guys. But Toy Gains. Mm-hmm. You were just hanging out with Baldy Locks at the Toy Tuber Jersey Con. How did that go?
It went. Listen, I knew just based on who was going to be there and me. I consider myself a pretty fun person. I knew we were going to have fun. I knew it, but I was worried about the amount of people because I like Ninja. I'm cool with that guy. I didn't want to see it fail for him. So when people showed up, it was became a really good time and a success. And Baldy, he is a gem. He was. I'm not doing this to kiss his ass. I don't give a shit. One of the funniest guys I've ever met. So
yeah, I'll do all the ass kissing.
There you go. So thank you. Do the heavy lifting.
I do the best, man. A shill kind of mood. But yeah, we'll be shilling for our second guest. But I'm shilling for you guys because I finally get to hang. And you know what? We get to have our own circle of jerks. Just pretend I don't have.
Yeah, look at that.
You gotta shave your
beard.
Exactly. Get the beard going. Before we even get in our subject, we're going to talk about the future of classified with marketing, money, media. It's a different topic than we had last week. But with what's classified's doing now, toy-wise, action media, what's your new favorite pickup from the classified line?
My new favorite pickup is actually right back here behind me.
I was going to say, there's a lot of pickups behind you.
Yeah. Yes, there is. But my favorite Cobra of all time, Crystal Ball. All of my pre-orders from Walmart got canceled, and a friend of mine in Canada immediately sent me out some of these, and like super happy to have it. and like this is legitimately my all-time favorite Cobra, because
I was going to say that was your avatar on YouTube for a little bit. Yeah.
When I was a kid and now, I was really big into horror, and Stephen King kind of created that character, wrote the bio, and his likeness is of Vincent Price, one of the greatest all-time horror actors ever.
For sure.
So that's what drew me into him immediately.
All right, your turn, Gaines.
Well, I just picked up, I got the Flint, and Flint, I don't know, everyone has a different story growing up collecting Joes. And for me, once Flint arrived on the scene, Duke kind of took a back seat. I don't know if it was the shotgun, the beret, the bullet straps. There was just something about Flint that, as a fan of toys as a kid and now as an adult, he just pops, and they did a great job on this figure. I also picked up, and now you said we're going to talk about price, and that's the only issue I have with the Firefighter, but this is a great piece as well. And Classified lately has been just hitting on all cylinders, in my opinion.
I was going to say, just wait, that Firefighter will be at
I know. I'm one of the Moody. I'm one of them sicko collectors that you get where in today's toy age, it either is gone forever and goes on eBay for $200, or goes to Ross for $5.
There's no hanging on the peg for normal price. No,
right.
You're right. We're all sickos, and we all share the same sentiments. Let's talk to some sickos for a sec before we get into our break. All right, let's see. Blitz early before we started. Will there be weird disease animals here? Look, we have a couple bald, beautiful guys on here.
Talking about me,
guys, but we're not talking about the kind of stuff that other show does. All right, this is for Weber. So Mark Weber. So I'll save that. What do we got here? Okay. Sean says, hey, all, just got done watching your Operation Monster Force video. Yeah, I was up till 2:30 in the morning making sure that went up. Literally got home from a work trip, probably got my shit together, settling in around 1:30, 2 p.m. And I did not leave this office till I went to bed. I just went, those Operation Monster Force figures are phenomenal. I already put them on the shelf, but the new season 0 and season 2 looking good. So we're actually going to talk about that review at the very end of the show tonight with the boys from A Toy Kind of Mood. HK Viper, hello chat. Always good to see you, Rec Shop. Good stuff. We'll say hi to a few more people because we're on a time crunch here. So we'll get it in. Let it roll. I always say Latroyal or whatever, but now it's let it roll. Cool. What up, Travis? Go Blue. Yeah, that's right. Michigan, even though we cheat, I guess. I'm looking forward to their season. Anytime we can beat Ohio State, national champs, but they didn't beat us. So we here, hella geek. That's what's up. Dance, Terry, dance. What am I missing here?
Oh, the little dance intros. Yeah.
We should have had one. That's my fault. Steve,
I can't dance without music.
You got a lot of fans here in the crowd. Oh, not this guy.
Yeah,
Tony's Figs. Tony's Figs will be here later on. I put him in Marvel duty. I'm like, you talk enough about G.I. Joe. We're gonna talk about Marvel stuff. Attack him has actually been making me laugh out loud during reviews. Let's see how long it takes to get old. It will never get old. Cool. I think that's about it. We got one. Oh, look who's in the house. JMK Custom Works. Evening, Travis. Toy Games. My favorite uncle. Terry, package received. Thanks for the Haya Flint. Nice. Talk about Flint.
Glad that arrived. Okay.
That's what's up. So cool. All right. We got. Oh, and I'll say hi to Ryan Daly, Rowdy Riles.
Nice, Rowdy.
And yeah, we gotta get the show going. All right, cool. And I'll save this other comment. All right. Oh, of course I didn't put the slides up. All right, here we go. Marketing. Boom. Okay. So you guys talked about this on the Circle of Jerks. I think how there was they canceled PulseCon, and I think the overall consensus, Terry, was that it was something they made during COVID. We're on lockdown. They weren't doing the conventions, and here they are. They're doing the conventions again. But are you a big fan of the fan streams? Because from my perspective, without the fan streams, I don't know what the fuck we talk about on the show, to be honest, because we're very G.I. Joe centric. We do cover all toy brands, but a lot of toy brands outside of Hasbro don't do these kind of direct media news things that gives us coverage, basically, other than speculation. So anytime we lose stuff like this, it kind of hurts from that perspective. But from a toy collector's perspective, we don't really need this shit, right?
I don't know, man. I really do like the fan streams. I like the fact that they put the effort into going on, even though it's not live, it's live broadcast of a pre-recorded show. I like the fact that they actually do that and they talk about what they're developing and they talk about what they have coming out for us.
Yeah.
It shows that they have a legitimate interest in it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because if the toy brand is just doing a cheap press release and then releasing the toy, they don't come off as enthusiastic. So even though Hasbro is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, the fact that they have the direct-to-consumer news media events was really cool. What about you, Toy Games? Have you been a fan of PulseCon stuff and fan streams or what?
I am. As someone who also loved video games, there used to be a game convention called E3, and that has since been canceled, and I missed that. Any new information, anything I could see before it's actually out, it just gets that, it's momentum and it's mental momentum. You get excited for things, and it's something to look forward to. Anything that breaks up, the monotony of everyday life in this culture of collecting toys and pop culture, it's fun. I think it's fun.
And I actually forgot to ask my intro question. I'll still do Gaines here. How heavy, because you haven't been on the show yet, it'd be good for our viewers that don't know you. How heavy are you into classified, and where is your place in the G.I. Joe community, would you say?
So when classified, I tell this story like every time when in regards to classified, I think they took the turn. The Cobra Troops look fine, but they really took a turn with Major Blood. And from that point on, I had to pre-order everything, didn't want to miss a release, and as I stated earlier, they haven't had a lot of misses as far as what's come out. And I'm deep into it. I pre-ordered, 4 Snake Armors that unfortunately haven't arrived yet.
By the way, we'll just say it now. Those got pushed back to September 23rd.
Now, okay. Well, listen, you put me in a bad mood, Ryan. Thank you, brother. I'm deep in it, man. I think I was a huge DC Multiverse collector, and McFarlane raised the price points, and they are for me, once you price me out and you make it not fun to collect, I'm looking for the next best thing for my dollar. And for my money, classified hits all them notes. Quality, price point, character selection. So yeah, I'm deep in it.
That's what's up. And then Terry, you've been on the show before, but you're all in on classified, right? Even repaints and sub teams.
Like I'm a retailer, and I also retail classified figures. So like I'm deep into all of it. I collect all of it, multiples. I try and stick to 2 of each army builder, and like literally everything. And for a while, I was putting forth the effort to get figures before they were available in the U.S. I was ordering them from China, and or having somebody buy them in China and then ship them to me, just so that I could make videos of them or have them in hand and look at them. But I kind of quit doing that. The prices got out of hand for it. But yeah, as far as the retail thing goes, if I could consistently get product, that would be great. And it seems like we're not getting, as retailers, we're not getting all of the information that we used to. I used to get a lot of information about stuff that was coming out like months away from being announced. And
well, that's because of guys like us and Full Force and Punk with Toys and all the everybody else because we gives us stuff to talk about. The leaks. I know the leaks are getting really shut. When was the last time we had a leak? Right, it's been weeks. Right,
it's been a while.
Yeah.
Now
I actually bought
like one person in the factory.
Yeah, I actually bought a pre-proto, and reviewed the bat, which I don't even think is out yet, right? The OG bat,
no,
the
it's not out yet.
Bat's not out yet, and I reviewed that a while back, and I think that is the same guy that was showing. I'm not going to say who it was or anything, but he was showing a lot of the stuff that was out on Weibo, whatever the hell the name of that
Yeah, the Chinese social media app.
Chinese site, I think, was on it. I don't know. I could be off of that, but that's what I heard. All right, moving on there. And so yeah, this was the news. No PulseCon. Shout out to Troy Collects out of Canada. This is some Fan Expo Canada news. Now, GI Joe didn't have a presence there. They're going to be at MCM in London, and I think Lucca and in Italy and New York Toy Fair. So yes, 1027 was garbage, dude. I'm just gonna say it. I mean, but it was like one reveal for each brand. I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. I mean, this stuff was appreciated during COVID again, right? During COVID at 1027 and MCM. But I think PulseCon was kind of a big deal. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where that goes. I think though the problem is we have Pythona is the exclusive for the conventions, and now you have to go to the convention to get it, to pre-order, right? Or get it. No, she'll be in hand. You have to get it from the convention. So PulseCon gave everyone a chance to pre-order at the same time, right? So that's what are your feelings on that, Toy Games?
Anytime a company makes it difficult for me to buy a figure, I don't know if that makes anyone happy. Now I understand. I feel like conventions, you should have the opportunity to get it maybe first or before anyone else, and that's totally fine. But yeah, I you know, especially characters you need to complete lines is really a kick in the sack.
Well, they did say it would hit Pulse later, but you know, sometimes that could be limited quantities. From the past, we thought Cold Slither was never going to come back, and you can still pre-order that.
That's true. So, and maybe if they do that, they do a good job of restocking it, keeping it in stock. Then no harm, no foul, right?
Yeah, Cold Slither's still available for pre-order right now.
I'm going to switch gears. I want to say hi to Yojo Jerk, Darren in the chat. Just some big time YouTube people saying what's up. I appreciate that. Terry, I'm going to switch gears. And do you think these fan streams, do they have enough of them? Because, you know, remember there was a time where Disney was having all the fan streams. It was like we got like 3 Marvel ones in a row and 4 Star Wars ones in a row. And then G.I. Joe, we'd be like, where is it? You know what I mean? We had G.I. Joe Day and Yojo June, right? But other than that, we weren't getting as many. Being an in-house brand, and Transformers doesn't get enough either. You know, I'm not a super Transformers fan. I do collect 86, but they weren't like, do they do enough of them? I mean, what can they do next as far as digital media, if anything?
As far as digital media, I would love to see an Energon cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be like the top shelf thing they could do right now. But that's going to be, you know, Skybound, and then it has to be distributed through a proper channel. That's probably going to be difficult. The last cartoon that we had, as a matter of fact, I just rewatched all of it, G.I. Joe Renegades, which I loved. And
sick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was really good, man. And like it wasn't distributed well. It was on an obscure channel, I think. But dude, all the cohesive story from beginning to end on that was really good. And the ending of it really set up what could have been great for another season, but it just fell off. And I think that was because of poor distribution.
And you brought up Renegades. I had this as part of my notes, along with Resolute and Sigma 6. But yeah, Toy Games, like an animation just makes sense. That's where G.I. Joe pretty much came from, right? We had the toys simultaneously with the Real American Hero cartoon. And to not have any animated presence just seems fucking ridiculous.
Just you know, just make a movie from time to time, and of course animated I would prefer, and just throw it on YouTube. Everyone has YouTube, do they not? It's free. It's probably more watched than anything else. Throw it on YouTube, but and I know you're probably going to get to it. I know a few weeks ago they had characters in a game called Overwatch, like skins or something, but still, people are playing more video games than they are going to the movies. So they did have a 2D side scroller that wasn't too bad, that played like, you know, Streets of Rage.
Cobra.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. they need
Shit
to,
was hard as hell. Even on easy, I can't get like some of the bosses. You gotta make it friendly enough for children. Because like
well, I was
I
gonna
know I'm a
suggest.
man child, but I had a tough time with it.
Yeah.
So when they did the Fortnite Snake Eyes figure, that's when Hasbro, of course, probably had the Fortnite
Right.
license. But you know, they need to go back to it. A lot of people still play Fortnite, Call of Duty. You could put skins in there. They need a more of a video game presence because that's where eyeballs are. You want wherever the most eyeballs are, that's where you need to make even a tiny impact.
That's our connection because I went to E3 for like I want to say 8 years before COVID. I used to cover video games before I did toys. And man, I loved E3, like
Yeah,
seeing video games
the best.
three
Yeah,
months to 2 years early. And if you were press, and everybody was pretty much press at the time, right? For until they started letting people in the last couple of years. But if you were press, you'd be in a private room. They had like coffee and stuff, and they give you a free t-shirt. The last 2 years, it's that corporate greed got up and they started
yeah,
inviting everybody, charging them expensive tickets. People would wait 8 hours to play a game and the day would be over. They play two
yeah.
games and then they were charging people for t-shirts. And I think that was the downfall of that. But for G.I. Joe to just do a 2D scroller and not hop into Battlefield or
Yes.
Call of Duty, I don't know what I think maybe those things are too big for G.I. Joe, but they could get into that world. And they're trying to get into it right now with the Atomic Arcade Snake Eyes. I mean, just based on this image alone, it looks for real.
I hope it is. I've heard it's going to run off a similar engine to the Arkham games, which, you know, plays smooth, has that great battle system. You know, putting Snake Eyes in a stealth action game is just, you know, peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah, any kind of media for G.I. Joe would help. And I think that the next turn for classified would be incorporating itself into media. And we'll talk about Energon with that. Terry, how you feeling about the video games? And you touched on animation as well. What's the next step?
Man, I don't really play any games. I tried to play the Wrath of Cobra game, but I have a Mac, and for some reason, it's not compatible with Mac. So I wasn't able to actually play it.
That's like a perfect game for Switch. Like you're at the airport and you're just kind of like going down Cobra Trooper. It's a mindless game, but it's, you know, it's kind of, I think that's what side scrolling.
It scratches the itch, but like you mentioned, I would want something that's third person. I see the characters and I feel like I'm, you know, Snake Eyes or Duke or you know, Barbecue. And, you know, video games, it's still like I mentioned, out, I think 3-1. It making more money than films are. So
no, and I want to stay on games for a sec. So this is true. You brought up the Arkham style. It is got people from Arkham, because when you see a new video game company, you're like, what the hell is Atomic Arcade? This is going to be trash, like straight to clearance bin at GameStop. But then you got to realize, I think, with the way gaming has been lately, a lot of people are leaving these bigger companies and forming their own. I mean, my favorite game of the year, not to get way off G.I. Joe, is Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And it's made by one guy who worked at Ubisoft, and he hired his friends who were like interns at Ubisoft and made one of the greatest video games I've ever played in my life. Like I hardly get a chance to game with toys and everything, but I put 60 hours in this thing in the spring. And so that's where it's next, is just people like us who are passionate about the brands and it's not just a job to them, and taking it to the next level. And I surely hope that's what we get. I was apprehensive at first, but I think we have a chance with this Snake Eyes game. What would you want out of it, Terry? I know this will work on Mac, so I think you might have to pick it up.
Yeah, I might have to, man. Like, as far as what I would want out of it, I really have no idea. The last game that I was really big into playing was the Call of Duty series. So something like that, maybe.
And we have a comment there
that we see looks great.
Yeah, we have just 2 tease pictures, and it's enough for me to at least know
the blood on that sword.
But no, I was just gonna say, the cutscenes will at least be good, right?
Yeah.
I saw the new trailer for Call of Duty Black Ops. It's like at 7 now or whatever, and I was like, God damn, this is G.I. Joe. It's
Mhm.
just that Call of Duty's too
Yeah.
big for GI Joe. So that's the
Yep.
problem. They have nothing to toy them from getting the Hasbro license because they're just Call of Duty's just on another level. So I know we all want it, but I don't think Call of Duty would ever fuck with GI Joe. I mean, what do you think of that?
Well, they have skins. They Call of Duty have actually had I think Beavis and Butthead were even in Call of Duty. So if they get
Oh,
link up and just put the skins in there, so you get people that heard of GI Joe but don't know how great they. Because one thing that is unbeatable and it's not nostalgia driven. Great design. That's why Batman was made what in the 40s, 50s. He still looks great today, right? Same thing with GI Joe. Those character designs are timeless. Snake Eyes, Duke, Bazooka, you can't beat them. So if you get eyeballs on that and they see how great it looks, maybe they go back and read the comics. Maybe they start watching the cartoon. Maybe they buy the toys. So, anything will help at this point.
And I know you brought up Energon, Terry, so we'll get right into that. I mean, these are pretty much most wanted. We're not going to talk about like pretty much Energon in classified, but more about the media here. I'm like way, all right, here we go. Do you think that the Skybound Comics Energon universe, Terry, is connected enough? And do you think next year that we'll see more of a tie-in? Because, like, is it a paperwork thing? Is it too much legalese, so to say, for Skybound and Hasbro to play even nicer than they are? Or I don't know. What do you think? Do you think even Hasbro's maybe apprehensive having comic line in their line? After the Ross Con Snake Eyes wave, right? So, maybe they're like, I mean, if the movie didn't sell figures, how are we going to
Man,
sell comic
movie.
figures? Yeah, I don't know. Talk about that for a sec with Energon's place in classified and where you think it'll go and where you want to see it to go.
I don't know that Energon has a place in classified, but classified has a place in Energon, if that makes sense.
Okay.
The figures that we've seen in the comics have been retroactively added as the comics have come out, and the figures have already been out for a while. Like the Valkyries, we didn't really have any context for the Valkyries, and then the Energon comics added them in and made them just completely ruthless in their intro.
Agreed.
So I don't know that we'll actually see the GI Joe version of Baroness. I don't know that we'll actually see Risk, although I'd love to see both of those. I really, really want to see that Baroness in classified.
I think these are two of the most demanded, I would say, as well as, we got a million Dukes, but we never had a bearded Duke, right?
That
And
Duke, I love what they did with Duke in that story.
Yeah, you could almost do like, I'm almost wondering if they could follow suit and do almost, not to get it too away from what Classified is doing, but AEW has the legs that you could pull off and you can mix and match the legs on the Jazzwares AEW figures. How about just giving us an Energon Deluxe Duke with like legs and different vests you could just pop on? You don't have to have a 3-pack, just have a deluxe.
Like
Could
modular.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of modular accessories.
Yeah.
So,
Toy Gains, Energon, are you reading the comic? And then what do you think the future is between the two companies, Skybound and
I took a look at the covers and I was, everyone talked about how gritty they were. As far as like the Cobra Commander and then what Duke had his own comic. The thing with comics is it's tough. West Eastern influences came to the West with anime and that's manga, but it's still, that's what my daughter's into. She doesn't care about American comics. So I think it helps. But as you mentioned earlier, I think a cartoon is still what, you could pop on. It's not as time consuming as getting into a comic line. I mean, I'm all for it. I'm glad it exists, but I don't know the impact it has. But if it makes for a cool toy, as you mentioned with that Duke, that design is great. I would buy that figure in a heartbeat. So, there is that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think some people don't understand that Lenny and Tony are just two guys. So they map this out years in advance. Like I talked to them at Comic-Con off the record and stuff too. And it's like, I mean, these figures take a year and a half at least
Sure.
And so if Skybound is just hitting now with these concepts, there's no turnaround that's going to get these guys in the same year. That's why I'm talking about for next year, if they can bring them in. But then the problem is with the comic, someone dies, someone turns, like, I know they were talking about on another show that we got to get that good girl Baroness because she's bound to be back in Destros' lap, right? So, I mean, hopefully not. I'd love to
I
see
don't know about
Baroness
that,
just
man.
be, I'd love to see her be good forever. That's my fingers crossed. Just make it different.
I mean, her and they have Chameleon in the comic, so
That's right. You nailed it. But yeah, just some stuff to think about there. Let me go to a couple comments here. Okay, and we'll get to this too. Hello there, Nightmares Cave. What's up, man? It would be great if they made a 10-15 minute Joe video for the new item. So they made like these 30-second clips, and I was gonna get there with that because
And
they're
I mean
pretty close to yeah. Good.
that cartoon they did for the Dreadnought cartoon, you know, it was like a music video, right? That was awesome.
Right. That's
Yeah.
like the music video itself. And
Yeah.
actually, you know what? I added a clip, I think. Let me
It's
see if
not a
this is
bad
right.
idea. I mean,
Yeah. I could totally botch this. I don't know if it's the right video. Let's see.
It is so good to see y'all 5 years running. I just want to give y'all a big congratulations so far.
That's my guy, KJ, big love. No, I actually forgot to put the video, but anyway, you guys have all seen it. It's the Cobra Commander video. It shot the Baldy, sent it to me, and I forgot to put it in. But the one where he's mad about, that the fact that the Snowcat got backed, just like everybody, it's kind of trolling the people in the comments. And then he's frozen, and you guys all know it's gonna come out with an Arctic Saw Viper and a White Hiss and all Arctic Hiss and all that stuff. But that voice and the animation is pretty solid enough to just continue Real American Hero. Why wouldn't they just they got the guy, they got the animators. It's like, what's holding them back, Terry, from just doing that, just continuing a Real American Hero with what they got?
I wouldn't want to see them continue a Real American Hero.
I've
said for years, man, like they are targeting us. I mean, I'm sure that you guys are probably my age, a little bit older.
Wait, you said you would or wouldn't?
Would not.
You would. You would not want to see them continue. Okay.
In order for G.I. Joe to have real longevity, it needs to be reinvented again, just like they did with Adventure Team in the 70s, just like they did with A-Ra in the 80s. And they did it in the 2000s as well. And I don't really see Classified as so much of a reinvention as just a reformat. It's just a new format of the figures. I think that in order to draw in long-lasting generational interest, that it needs to be something along the lines of a complete reinvention. I see Energon as that reinvention, really.
I see the mix of Energon and this Sigma, not Sigma 6 specifically, but anime. Anime is so powerful, so strong. There's over 100,000 people that go to Anime Expo. It's ridiculous. Shoulder to shoulder. The popularity of the youth and adults, especially the youth, we're talking teens. This is one way to get people back into G.I. Joe or new kids into G.I. Joe is anime. I don't know, I know there's rumors of Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow anime, but it hasn't come to fruition just yet.
I think that I heard that got axed whenever people threw a fit about the new appearances, the gold shin guards and all that stuff. The way they started out the Classified line, I think, was going to be that reinvention. But most of the people who were consuming the product, they wanted what they had in the 80s. And I think that a lot of them, at least at that time, were guys our age who were not lifelong G.I. Joe collectors. They weren't just toy collectors. They hadn't really looked at or touched a lot of G.I. Joe stuff since the 80s.
Right.
And they wanted what they had when they were kids, but in 6-inch.
Before we get into a couple comments, Toy Gains anime, is that something you think they'd dive into, or what? Like Sigma 6?
I mean, it would be smart. I don't, anime has been popular now, it feels like, for at least 20 years,
Mhm.
as far as mega popularity. But you look at something like Ninja Turtles, right? Every 10 years or so, Ninja Turtles gets reinvented, right? But it still
Yep.
remains the four brothers, Splinter, Shredder, Foot Clan. So as long as you keep, even if you reinvent G.I. Joe, you still need Cobra Commander,
Yep.
Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. You still need a core there, right? As long
Mhm.
as you got that core,
Right.
even if you reinvent it, it might do well. Just a matter of the style,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Transformers
key.
is the prime example of generational longevity.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up Transformers because we talk Energon. Now, Energon isn't all GI Joe; it's Transformers, and it's kind of ironic that they mash them up in toys almost too early, right?
Yeah.
It's like
I love
again, say that again, Terry. Sorry.
I said I absolutely love these. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just got excited because these are some of my favorite things. I always wanted Transformers to be scaled with my GI Joes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Right, and I just think it came out. It's just wrong place, wrong time, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, so right
Yeah.
place, wrong time. Because think Energon, where they are actually mixing it, and there's an audience for that because they're among the best-selling comic books. If these were just Energon, imagine the synergy there and the sales. It could be O-Ring might not be with Super 7. It
Right.
might still be with Hasbro because of the popularity of and the possibilities here. It might have us classified collectors, a lot of us back in 118 scale because it's mixing and matching. But toy games, do we even want Transformers toys mixed with our Joes, or are you good just
It's something that I look at and I appreciate from afar, like looking at, and they look incredible. But as a collector who collects everything, it's all about shelf space, right? So I don't. Me personally, I'd rather have Optimus hanging out with Duke, not an Optimus that looks like a vehicle from GI Joe. I don't need them necessarily to mix like that. So I guess no.
Mhm. Cool. And I
So,
think we already got Terry's answer. He wants it mixed. But go ahead.
well, I don't know if I hope you guys can hear me, but the first outing that they've done to mix Energon and O-Ring, or to mix Transformers and O-Ring, has been this set, and I think they botched it.
Really?
I think they botched this set because I think they should have gone with something that would have been more compatible in scaling, like what they did with the GI Joe and Transformers crossover sets, instead of using a Siege Jetfire to continue beating that mold to death. And the O-Ring figures look great though, but they should have had a Transformer that scaled with them.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been either Hot Rod or Springer that those figures could actually fit into.
Makes sense. We have a super chat, and it was like 15 minutes ago. Sorry, we're just having this crazy discussion, and we're on limited time for each discussion. So, Mike Delta Sierra, man, you're always willing to leave a note, but I appreciate that with the $4.99. Thank you so much for that. And downright diabetic has a great comment. Hey guys, another great show. Thanks, man. I agree with the animation series or movies, but ditch the kids themes. The franchise needs some grit and dark storyline. I wouldn't say ditch. I think we just need everything.
Balance.
We need balance, because in order
Yeah.
for the future of GI Joe to continue, we need the kids to get involved, and we need more than just people who are like us who get their kids involved in GI Joe. And Lord knows everyone I know who has a kid is like, my kid doesn't fuck with my toys and my kid doesn't watch wrestling. My kid doesn't watch GI. It's like they're the
I
opposite.
tried. I did try
Yeah.
Moody. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
My daughter
But
watched
that's the point.
Renegades with me and was glued to it the entire time.
Oh, nice. So your kid is into GI Joe.
Yeah.
Awesome. But I'm saying, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, it's just, you are correct. I mean, you need something for kids to latch onto. Kids are on their computers, though. Kids are they are reading, and maybe something with an app, something on the phone, maybe a cell phone game. Start there. Maybe an app where you could read old GI Joe comics. Think outside the box. You know what I mean?
Kindle.
Sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that's how I read comics.
Sure.
I download all of them.
Yeah.
You guys disappeared. I think it's my end. Coming in okay? You're disappearing. I don't think it's you. I think it's me. What do you think? Is the show coming in fine? Let me know in the chat, please. Thank you.
You're freezing up on my end.
Did you guys? Am I freezing up?
Yeah. I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Just a little pixelated. You're like a 8-bit Nintendo game.
Oh man.
retro Moody.
Travis.
That's what happened. Well, that's what happens when I go on at almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Everyone's getting off work and hopping on their Wi-Fi and tying up the bandwidth in the community. So, yeah, it's showing one bar. I don't know how to do a reset when I'm the only one here who's going live. Maybe later. Yeah, it says glitchy here and there, but not awful. Okay, appreciate that.
Now, you mentioned the movie a few slides back that was directed by a guy who did like dance videos. Now, I understand you might think that's a smart move because the choreography aspect of it. But if they do a new film, just get a director that knows how to make an action film, and then just make sure the freaking characters look like they did in the cartoon. None of this updated weird suits that make them like that's the one issue I have. Like, you have them classic designs, and that's all you need to propel these films. You can't beat those designs. And I think kids, if you take your kid to that film, I took my daughter to see Superman. She loved it. She didn't want to read comics or buy the toys, but she did want to know a little bit more about Superman. You can't beat the blue and red. They didn't make Superman and all of a sudden some weird suit. They kept the cape, the red cape, the blue and red. So
right.
That's my hopes for these new films that are rumored to come out.
Yeah, Terry, your thoughts on the Transformers Joe movie universe?
I don't have high hopes. My expectations are like all the way down here.
Yeah.
After the Snake Eyes and Origins movie, which I went and saw that in theater, and it was I tried so hard to like it, and it was an okay movie. It just wasn't G.I. Joe.
Yeah, I mean he took off the mask, and it wasn't who Snake Eyes is, and he fought like a real live Cobra or something ridiculous. It was a mess.
That was probably the most G.I. Joe thing in the whole
movie. I guess man, just get the right director, get the cast. Doesn't matter the cast as long as they're wearing what they should be wearing. You know what I mean? Like that you need that visual. And that's half the battle, baby.
Yeah, half the battle. You know what would be the whole battle is if we just got the damn GI Joe website to work so we could get file cards and stuff. That's another battle. I mean, we got QR codes. I know Bobby B always has a joke in all his reviews about the QR code to nowhere and all that stuff. But yeah, we need, like, these are awesome. They made nice file cards for updated characters. Speaking of Energon, we got the Nemesis Immortal, which is pretty much right from the comic, and then we got Heavy Duty, a new life there. Trench Viper's a new character as far as a repaint. Twilight Guard, same thing. Steel Corps Commander. So they made file cards for these newer characters, but man, it'd be cool to have a working website. I don't understand why you wouldn't. A working website could have links to Pulse so people could buy this stuff. It doesn't make sense.
Was a missed opportunity.
Continue.
So they could have, the easiest thing ever. They could have made Twilight Guard infrared from the Plague and put him with the Steel Corps Commander, and it would have been a character 2-pack that would have sold a lot better. I think that would have been a perfect opportunity for them to introduce that character and a whole new faction for Cobra.
I just think it came down to repaint money. That's all it was. They needed to fill a void there or whatever.
Yeah, that would have been fine too. But I mean, like even just a repaint, even a kit bash repaint like the figure was, they could have made it a character. They could have called him Infrared and made him a plague member.
Right. Why do you think it's an IP thing, a legal? Sometimes it's a legal thing, and there has to be a reason why they do these things, right?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's comes down to, you know, Hasbro is a corporation at the end of the day, and it might just come down to resources and if there's money to be made in it, and that's the unfortunate thing. Sometimes things can't be done for fun. Oh wait, there you go, David. We agrees. You know,
Yeah.
I work for a big company and I make suggestions and they look at me like I have two heads. Now, it's not, you know, getting more half naked girls to work with us. It's, in my eyes, legitimate things. And sometimes it just comes down to if they can make money in it. And then they will not do it if they don't see dollar signs.
Yep. That's probably the reason. Because think about it, I was thinking a GIJoe.com. It has, you know, pre-order links. You have all that wonderful photography that Matt Cohen, Shooting the Galaxy, did. You could have, you know, image displays, like different photo albums on there for each character. You could have Lenny does all these great sketches.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these are like I mean, they're Hasbro IP, so they have to belong, even though he drew them on his own time. He's you know, that's part of the design of the characters that Hasbro owns. So these could be on the website. You've got all these. Like this would be, it would be cool to have an archive of all this stuff. And there's
All the
people who do
inputs.
it for free.
This isn't even on like a G.I. Joe official Instagram or anything. This is just gone into the.
It's just on Lenny's thing. And it's like, we have all this wonderful stuff. Like, look at all this stuff that you have to go and dig for.
Should just be on Instagram, and then Instagram can have the link. And then if it's sponsored on Instagram and they put up some money for it sponsored, and you're scrolling through your stupid phone while you're taking a shit, and you see this, like, oh, what the hell is this? And you're unfamiliar with it. You know, it's a no-brainer. It's strange.
Guys, thanks for having me. It is bedtime. I'm gonna go do that duty. So
amazing. We're actually pretty much almost done, but I'm gonna keep you Toy Games for a few minutes before we get into the 50th with Mark and Terry. Thanks for not just vanishing like you do on those other
Irish goodbye.
It was so hard not to. It was so hard not to just like, hey, you know what? And then just out.
Dude, awesome conversation, man. Wish we could go longer, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, we'll have to have a longer show some other time.
Absolutely, man. Hey, you went longer on this show than you do on that one.
There you go.
Sometimes I'm there for like about the full length of it, but so
stay on there longer.
Again, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
We'll see ya.
He did an Irish goodbye tonight.
Nice.
Very cool. All right. We got a couple more things. I'll bring in our next guest. And let's see. I didn't know I was going to bring him in for this one, but yeah, Mark Weber.
Hey,
what's up, man?
What's up? How you doing, guys?
He is
nice.
How's it going, man? The manager of sales and operations for Valaverse, the action force, stepping into enemy territory. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
I mean, it was kind of my old stomping grounds, right? So
here you go.
I think your audio is a little low. Is there a way to adjust that? Appreciate it. Man, let's show that, Gaines. Hold on.
Oh, I spread the love. My money gets spread around everywhere. I'm like a cheap.
That's what's up.
Boy. Yeah, great figure.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I was just joking around. Let's see if we can get some louder audio for Mark in the meantime. But he is also the former brand manager of G.I. Joe from 2014 to the spring of 2017. And we're going to talk about the 50th anniversary and what we'll see in the G.I. Joe line. But while I have you here, have you both here, Mark, let's get you talking about this. And Resolute, I saw a comment earlier. Let's see, did I save it? Here we go. Shelf presence. What's going on? Resolute was the perfect mix of adult content and high-level animation. Would you agree with that, Mark?
I mean, it was, a lot of people think it was pure fan service, right? Like it wasn't intended to become a movie or a long-term entertainment thing. It was just supposed to be one kind of meteor, just to tell the fans, hey, we still love you, we care about you. Here's something we know you're gonna dig. So I think everybody holds, every adult G.I. Joe fan, I think holds this pretty close to their heart. But I also think most fans think, oh, it should have been more.
Yeah.
Or why wasn't it more? And as far as I know, it was never intended to be anything more than a one shot, than a hit and go. And so, yeah, they did. I mean, they had bazookas. You see his corpse right away, right? Major Blood's dead right from jump. Like,
Spoilers.
not that. Oh well, come on. I mean,
I'm kidding. This thing came out a million years ago. Yeah.
how many years you got to wait before it's not a spoiler anymore? But having real death right at the beginning, and Bazooka's a bit of a throwaway character, popular, but still losing Bazooka doesn't exactly cripple the GI Joe team. But if I was writing a new GI Joe animation, I would want Major Blood available to me. I wouldn't kill him off screen in the first 10 minutes, but they had the freedom to do it because I believe they knew there was going to be no follow-up here. This was just, let's see, it's a love letter, basically, to the dedicated fans. And there's nothing wrong with that, but I think once in a while fans like it so much that they think it should have or maybe could have been more. And it was certainly never planned to be anything more than what it was.
I do want to address one comment real quick. Steve Young, the former Hall of Fame quarterback of the 49ers, asks, am I the wrong podcast? Yes, because this is G.I. Joe and not the National Football League. So your presence means the world to us. I was just in San Francisco. And speaking of which, Stanley was here hours before the show, and he said, Mr. Weber, been a while since the Spawn Board Sports Figs era. Still hunting that NFL 6 fan suggestion list with Tillman's name written down image. You got a comment for Stanley on that one?
I mean, Pat Tillman, I'm an Arizona State grad. I graduated Arizona State in 1998, the same year Pat Tillman graduated. I was in the stands. I was at the Rose Bowl cheering for us when Ohio State got 3 consecutive pass interference penalties to move them all the way down the field. Not bitter, but the Tillman thing, and I did the Pat Tillman runs. I use the word hero very, very carefully, but he was a hero and he is a hero of mine. And we wanted to make a figure of Pat as an NFL player and as a college player because we had a college football line at the same time. It was never, ever going to be military at all. We didn't want to go there. We were pretty sure they would want to go there. I got in contact with his brother-in-law. This would have been his wife's brother, who was running his foundation at the time, and made the pitch and said, look, I know you get 1 billion of these, and I want to be nothing but respectful here, but I am a Sun Devil. I graduated with Pat's class, and we would love to do this with all proceeds to benefit the Pat Tillman Foundation. So however I need to pitch it, if you would point me in the right direction, and if there's zero interest, I get it. Totally cool. And he liked it. He liked the sincerity of it and the fact that we weren't looking to make money off Pat Tillman's image or Pat Tillman's legacy, right? We were looking to raise money for his foundation, which is all scholarships for military people, right? And their families. And so I got to have a meeting with Pat's widow, Marie Tillman, and sit in a conference room with her. And this was 2001 or 2, right? Like he hadn't even been gone very long. And no, it would have been later than that. I'm sorry. I started there in 2002. So maybe 5 or 6. And made the pitch. I had a Jake Plummer. We had done Plummer as a Bronco. He'd been done up as a custom as a Sun Devil. They were great friends with Jake. So I had that to show to her as this is the quality that you could expect. And she really liked the pitch. She was grateful with the way we did it. A complete soft sell. Todd wasn't even in the room. He said, you do it. You're the Sun Devil. Nobody knows the stuff better than you. So I got to make the pitch. She was super nice. She said she would think about it and get back to us. And I walked her out to her car, and Pat's run was the next day, and we were both running in Pat's run. And within the week, she got back to me and said, really appreciate your time and your approach. I'm just not comfortable licensing Pat's likeness for it. And that was 2005, 2006, I think. And to this day, I don't believe they've licensed his image for anything. Because it was, if you remember, how Pat handled the spotlight at his military service. Once he enlisted, that was it. He gave no interviews. He sought no pub. He was, worried that they would try to make him a poster child for recruitment. Football hero joins the military, right?
Yeah.
And so he was worried about that as he went, and his family was very conscious of it after he passed, right? They didn't want anybody to martyr Pat Tillman, because it wasn't what he was about. So anyway, I had talked on the Spawn boards where I first cut my teeth in the toy industry, moderating those boards and running the sports picks. People asked for Tillman all the time.
Yeah.
And I would tell them, we will try. And then after she said no, I said, you know what? We made a really good pitch. And they respectfully said no. Look at that. I'm like a rookie on my phone now. So anyway,
you're a busy man, Mark.
Everybody wants to be the web, right?
That's Mr. McFarland calling you right now. What are you talking about? We got
right. I haven't talked to Todd in ages. I wish him happy birthday pretty much once a year, and he says cool thanks.
Toy games. You were gonna say something?
No, I was just appreciated that story. Pat Tillman. I love the NFL, and I loved Pat Tillman. Guy looked. I don't think any man looked better in a damn uniform than Pat Tillman.
The other cool one, because I worked in sports radio before I got into toys, and Pat grew up in Northern California, so he was. I don't know if he was a 49ers fan, but I mean they were so good when he was growing up. I'm sure he rooted for them. And on my morning show, not my show, I was the producer. I booked Ronnie Lott, who Tillman was a rookie in the NFL. And one of my hosts asked him, they talked about the league basically and things that were going on. The Cardinals weren't any good back then. And he said, let me ask you about Pat Tillman. And Ronnie Lott said, oh, you don't have to tell me about Pat Tillman. Pat Tillman plays football the way football should be played.
Sure.
And we told him that at practice later that day. And he couldn't believe it. This is Ronnie Lott, one of the best safeties ever.
Yeah.
And Pat was learning safety, transitioning from college linebacker to pro safety. And he could not believe Ronnie Lott knew his name, knew his game, and was proud of him.
That's awesome.
And he said, I wish I could have heard that. And our lead reporter, Mike Schreck, came back from practice. We got all the sound, talked to all the players every day. He said, Webb, tell me you have today's show on tape still. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I never erase it the same day in case we have to pull something. And it's like, you got to pull me Ronnie Lott talking about Pat Tillman. So no problem, found it. Pulled it to a cassette tape. That's how long ago this was. And he took it to practice the next day to give it to Pat.
Oh, cool.
To it. I would say in his car, except Tillman famously rode his bike to practice. Because he's Pat.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, the only way to follow up with that is with this. I was at Comic-Con and people were handing out, I think you know where I'm going with this. People were handing out like stickers and pins. Are we ever going to see the fridge in classified and, just talk about that, Mark?
What I heard back in the day when he was, he'll always be important to the Joe line and to Joe fans, particularly because there's been no follow-up, right? Just the one and then nothing really, right? So he's a bit of a white whale, and I mean that in the most positive way. But what we heard back in the day relayed to me was that his contract demands were extraordinary. That what it would have taken to sign him would have taken a lot, which was a little bit surprising to me at the time, because once in a while you'll hear stories that he's not exactly living in a mansion. Right. Like the money didn't last forever for whatever reason, right? So sometimes I wonder with celebrities and former athletes who, it's hard to explain to people who didn't live through it what the fridge phenomenon was like, right? For that Bears team too, right? It's just unbelievable. And so I wonder if when they actually could use 10 grand or 20 grand out of nowhere to do not much, if the manager in their ear or if what they used to earn won't let them accept something smaller than that, right?
Probably.
Nothing less than $100,000 is going to get me out
Probably.
of South Carolina. Okay, like, is anybody paying $100,000 for the fridge right now?
No.
20 grand. You know what 20 grand more than? 20 grand more than nothing. So,
Yeah.
but it's not like you've seen him, on cereal boxes or
No.
hawking things on the internet. There's any number of fly by night or just startup companies that would pay $5,000 to have the fridge hawking their workout gear or whatever, but you don't see it. So I don't know what it is, but as relayed to me, he was way out of our price range at the time.
It was cool that Lenny was at least wearing that sticker, and it was on social media. So they're not. I mean, I guess there's more. I guess the word would be like liberal, just able to do things outside of the corporate box. Because if the guy's not signed, and they're cool with wearing like the lanyard with his, card or whatever on it, then that's kind of a good sign.
I can't believe you would wear that if there wasn't something coming up.
I agree.
I have no inside knowledge or inside baseball.
Officially said that the fridge is coming to classify.
One of the funny things is, after my exit from Hasbro and now working opposition, basically, Lenny and I have remained friends because I never asked him stuff he shouldn't be able to answer. Right? I never put him in a place where he has to wonder, can I say this?
Right.
So that's in that way. Even before I started up with Valaverse last year, I was able to stay cool because when he gets a text from me, he knows the second bit isn't going to be, hey, who's in the next line? Or why was Baroness's hair purple? Or that kind of stuff, right? So he and I got along great at Hasbro. He was one of my favorite people.
That is a perfect segue, because the last section I'm going to have with Toy Games before we move on to the 50th stuff is you did What's on Joe Mind for a really long time. And so with that said, you weren't asking the kind of questions to Lenny that I do.
Right.
So, but do you think that Hasbro relies on influencers and YouTubers too much to do their marketing, or do you think that it's coincidental? Or, and I'd love to get both of your perspectives, but I'll start with you, Mark.
I mean, it's it's a tricky question for me because I'm a Joe fan from day one. My favorite brand ever. And I couldn't have loved it more as a kid, and I never stopped liking it. And with the years I wasn't collecting, I came back and backfilled once I got out of college and had some money to spend. So I'm Joe fan since day one. I'm close to the brand because I helped run the brand under Daryl DePriest for a couple of years. But in really, really lean years, when we had almost no item count and we had almost no marketing spend, and certainly no or very little tooling dollars. So I was very limited. Like, I had to cook dinner with hardly any groceries. So that's okay. I like that challenge. It's a lot different than Transformers. Transformers, they get 210 item count a year. G.I. Joe got like 7. And a repaint counts as 1. So, yeah. But I think they've done a good job with Classified. I don't agree with everything they've done. But I guess I don't say criticisms, but it's a totally different world than when I worked at Hasbro, which was, 8 years ago. And it's amazing how much it's changed. Not only that they're less focused on being a toy company than ever before, but with Joe and with a lot of the collectible brands, they're not even trying for kids anymore.
No,
they have. They're not going to fight. I get it. It's hard to get a kid to put down a screen and pick up a toy, but Mattel is fighting for kids to give them toys to play with, and on a lot of levels outside of Nerf and Play-Doh and stuff that will only ever be kid focused. I don't think Hasbro is willing to fight the fight to teach a new generation of kids that playing with toys is cool.
Right. So we talked
about a
about
different animal than when I was there.
Right. We talked about that just now in our first segment with Terry and Toy Gaines. And Toy Gaines, before I get into the kids segment with Mark and the marketing there, what do you think about Hasbro's outlook on influencers? Is it like our fault that we like love this stuff so much and give them so much coverage, free coverage?
So
Or I mean, is there another way to market the Joe? What can Hasbro do to market Joe's, or are they just good with us kind of doing it for them with the
they,
posts, social
well,
media?
well, Moody, I will say this: when I found out about Classified, and it got me to wait at Target every morning at 8 o'clock for the doors to open. I think I heard about the line through the robo, through the foosh, whatever. It wasn't through a commercial. It wasn't through something on social media. So I think they have 1 foot here, 1 foot there, and they need to concentrate on at least something. And to follow up on what Mark just said, I don't know if they want to be in the toy game anymore. It does make them enough money to keep it going, but is it really enough? So I don't know. Do they need to do a better job? I guess yes. And will they? Who knows? I know GI Joe is approaching what 60th anniversary soon. So it's been around for that long. So I can only hope it sticks around at least through my lifetime, and I'll be happy and grateful.
When
Yeah, but they just
the
Go
old
ahead.
school guys like Kirk Bazigian, when you talk about GI Joe,
Yeah,
I think it's Kirk who throws the line out all the time. It saved the company twice.
right,
Saved the company twice.
right.
I don't think there's nobody left there who remembers what GI Joe did in the '60s, obviously, but in the '80s too.
Hmm.
So I've always thought it deserved more reverence, and that it's often misclassified as a war toy, and that was
Yeah,
always an easy way for the higher ups to say, "Yeah, we're not comfortable with war."
right. I
Like
heard that too.
as much as GI Joe is about war, there are years where it was Adventure Team and they were fighting snakes and octopus, right? Like GI
Yeah,
Joe is about war sometimes, but it's always about courage.
whimsical.
That's
Yes.
what the brand is about. It's about courage. And if you don't get that, then you just don't get GI Joe.
Well said. Cool. Any last words, Gaines, before we go? Speaking of YouTubers and influencers, let us know where we can find you
uh,
and what you're up to, what you got cooking in the kitchen now.
I do videos about 2 to 3 times a week. For everything from NECA to GI Joe to customs. And on Thursday night, I'm on a show called Thursday Night Thunder on it's the Mega Powers podcast. Mark, it was an honor to be on the same show as you. Moody, you're a great guy. Anytime you want me on, just give a shout. And I appreciate this, man. It was a lot of fun. I will continue to watch in chat. So take care. Have fun.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you, man. Take care. Thank you so much.
That right there is a better triple threat than anything on AEW tonight.
And this is where I drop you from the show and just talk about Marvel Legends with you guys.
Yeah, fair.
Before we even get into the 50th, let's talk about some of the stuff. As a brand manager, I'd love to pick your brain on some of the stuff we just talked about. You said that they're not worried about kids over at Hasbro, but when I talked to, it was actually Bobby from A Toy Kind of Move, shout out to Bobby Bear. He asked Jesse Falcon, the head of merchandising for Marvel and Disney. We did an interview with him at Comic-Con. Shout out to Jesse for doing it. He asked him, he's like, oh, well, now that it's all about adult collectors. And Jesse stopped him right in his tracks. And he's like, there's more sales to kids, and I'm sure that counts as mom to kids, right? I mean,
Right.
parents to kids, and
Sure.
then like your adult neckbeard waiting to buy 2 and flip 1. I mean, but you're saying that Hasbro doesn't care about the kids as much anymore, like they did, or at least I don't know. Like, talk about that. Talk about what Jesse's point that it is about kids. He is coming from the Disney perspective too.
Yeah.
That's a little that is a little different. But go ahead, chime in on that.
I mean, it's a different animal when it's a Disney product, right? Because they have skin in that game. You know, they want a generation of kids playing with toys, seeing the movies, hopefully buying the comics, which has been a tough stone for them to roll uphill. I can't even imagine how frustrating it must be for the Disney Marvel types to have their movies rule Hollywood for a decade and see no discernible lift in their comic book sales, right? Everybody loves Iron Man, but nobody's buying more Iron Man comics today than they did 15 years ago. So, I mean, I'm sure they love the bump, but it's got to be completely maddening that it doesn't translate over into where it came from. You can't get people into comic shops, not commensurate at least to how their movies are doing. So I get it for Star Wars, for Marvel, for things they don't control, but at least they have a say in. That, yeah, it is important for Disney and for Marvel and for Star Wars to get more kids in. But if you look at the things that Hasbro controls, G.I. Joe, Transformers on some level, there's still kid Transformer stuff out there.
Oh, tons.
In a way they don't have for G.I. Joe, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. The main line of Transformers used to be kid focused. And now, what is the main line of Transformers? Is it Generations? Is it whatever Bumblebee-fueled animation is currently on the television? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I don't believe it's like it used to be. And when I was on Transformers, that's where I started at Hasbro, working on the Generations line. I wanted to make it not too difficult for a kid to transform. And when I came in, it was right after the Dark of the Moon toys had hit. And they were one of the big complaints that the brand had heard before I got there was, these are too hard for my kid to do. And if the kid can't do it, then the mom and the dad probably can't help. And that is a frustration, not just for the kid, but for the parents who are largely the decision makers on what goes in the cart and what doesn't. So I've tried really hard to make that whole Generations line kid friendly, but not so kid that it would scare away collectors. It still had to be cool enough for the adults.
I think that perfect mesh could be, now it seems more catered to adults, but it is Transformers and G.I. Joe, and we talked about it, the Energon universe. There's potential there. There was rumors of an animated series. Do you think that's one way to get kids in? You can kind of almost use Transformers as bait in a way to bring them into this. We think it's just a military toy line, and once you get in, it's fantasy and sci-fi more than most things. Do you like that idea of getting kids into the Energon universe or an anime or something? Like, how would you get kids into Joe if you were hired by Hasbro and they said, hey, well, no, you can't do that because you're with Action Force. But look, if you were playing fantasy baseball,
sure,
I changed it,
like
and you were, and your job is to get kids into G.I. Joe. Like, where do you go with this? And with Energon in mind.
I mean, it doesn't even matter the brand. I don't think you can get any modern brand to appeal to kids without having a strong online footprint. And you were talking right before I came on about the pitfalls of the G.I. Joe website, right? You can't even keep your own website compelling. How much effort are you actually putting into it? How much would that cost to have somebody dedicated to make sure it's always up to date, or that not even up to date, that you're breaking news on it, making it a destination for people to go? That's important. When I was at Hasbro and making pitches, I was pitching a cartoon. I pitched a cartoon for G.I. Joe before I was even on the brand, with the idea that you would start an episode with Scarlet flying down a hall with klaxon alarms going off, with a file in one hand and the crossbow in another, and she comes to a stopping point on the roof, and there's a really thin beam going across, and she has to think about it for a second, and the Vipers are coming, and you flash back to her as a kid, and you have her on the balance beam, taking a deep breath and being ready to compete, and the idea being that what made them, I want to call it G.I. Joe Elite, what makes them elite now is what made them special as kids. And you tie that in every week, from, Roadblock lifting heavy things, but dying to put it down so he can get back to the kitchen, that kind of stuff. And so just as the intro, and you're highlighting a different character every week, It's almost like the Bond teaser, right at the start of the Bond movie. That gets you into it, and then boom, the logo comes up, and then we start the show, and the show is ripped a little bit from Mask. I love the Mask cartoon. The one specific part where they would say, "Who are my agents for this mission?" and the computer would flash through everybody, and at home you're like, "Oh, let it be my guy, let it be my guy." And sometimes it was, and more often it wasn't. But that was the pitch I made, was to have sort of a core Joe team globetrotting, and every time asking, "Who are my agents in the region?" And in that way, you can introduce the characters that you're about to release figures for. And the twist I liked, which isn't that big of a stretch, staying away from Cobra to start with, but start with Destro, because Destro's the weapons dealer, the guy who is inciting conflict worldwide and feeding weapons to both sides. And in a very subtle, maybe sneaky way, you have G.I. Joe as a peacemaking force. They're actually anti-war because they're trying to quiet down conflicts that Destro is fueling, or at least accelerating. And in a very cool kind of sneaky way, you can move the team around the globe. And in that way, also find they go to England. Who's in England? Big Ben, right? They go to Cuba for Snowstorm. Cool, right? You can find, and this is the biggest miss for me from both Transformers and G.I. Joe, is not enough new characters. Oh my God. We used to, one of the best bits as a kid, way pre-internet, was finding that first Joe off the shelf, the new one in March. And it didn't matter who it was, just that he was new. And immediately you're flipping it around to see who else is coming this year, right? 20 new characters every year. The first vehicle you get, you're pulling open that catalog and figuring out which toy is so big you can only get it for your birthday. And which one, what's the ceiling? What can I get for Christmas? Can I get a hydrofoil? Can I ask for the Terrordrome, or is that too big? I loved that. It was part of the best part of collecting as a kid. And I think you can still tie into that. But everything is web-based now for you. It has to start with the web and go and build from there. But if you're not starting your marketing strategy online, then you're not aiming at kids at all.
Right. And I think he was either Terry or Toy Gaines. Maybe it was Toy Gaines. He had a great suggestion that the cartoon could just be on YouTube. You're showing that a real American hero cartoon 24/7. Why not? But I think at the end of the day, everyone says they're like, this is a great, my friend Darren here, they keep letting employees go. So whoever they could have to run a website and probably make a cartoon and do all this other marketing is probably not even with the company anymore. So that's kind of it sucks to have that reason, but it seems like the reason for all this missed opportunity, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not ripping on the people there, right? I know a few of the people who are still there from when I was there, and the people I don't know, I'm sure they're doing the work of 3 or 4 people, depending on how it used to be staffed versus how it's staffed now. So I'm not hassling anybody who works there now, but yeah, it's not the same company as it used to be. And I try to be conscious of that when I feel critical of Hasbro. Now, look, I got my own history with Hasbro, and I'm not saying I agree with how deep they've cut into their workforce, but it's hard you got to keep that in mind when you criticize the work or what's being turned out by Hasbro, is figure everybody there is doing 4 times the work that position 100%. Used to do. So
yeah, when we're talking about what can they do, we're not talking about Lenny, Tony, and we're kind of saying above that. I don't even know if we're even talking about BMAC and Emily brand managing. We're saying like above that, what can they do? Because they're only going to do what they can do, whatever the budget is, whatever they only have so much time too, right? Like these are very small. Joe is a really small team compared to Marvel Legends, the Transformers, and stuff like that. So we have to keep that in mind. This is a good comment too, and we're going to move on to the 50th in a sec. I agree. We need something for the kiddos. They need something Mission Fleet, but I think you need that media to tie in a Mission Fleet. You can't, because again, Mission Fleet, for Star Wars is Star Wars. There's a million cartoons and movies and Disney Plus and all that stuff, and there's no media for Joe. You can't have kids will not just go buy kids versions of GI Joe. They need some kind of cartoon or animation. I think that's pretty obvious. It is Sergeant Slaughter's birthday today. He turned 77. Give him a shout out. Happy birthday, Sarge.
Did I ever tell you my Sarge story? It's my favorite story.
No, let's do it.
We had him at Comic-Con, and he was pushing Creo at the time because we had a little Creo Sergeant Slaughter. And the deal was Hasbro got him for one day, and I think it was Mattel got him for the other to push his WWE.
What a hustler, dude.
Yeah,
what
right?
a hustler to have. Wait, hold on. He had a WWE Ultimate Edition figure as a Comic-Con exclusive. He had an Action Force figure and a Hasbro Classified figure all at the same fucking time. Yeah. Dude, him and Billy Gunn are like killing it.
Yeah, Sarge knows what's going on. So he was up at the desk, and I don't hassle celebrities ever. Like once in a while, if I see a guy, I'll walk by him just because physically I want to get an idea of what they're like in person, right? But I don't hassle anybody. And even working on the Joe brand, I'm not going to hassle Sarge. So he's up there. He's got the full hat on. He's got the mirrored sunglasses. And his agent handler is with him. And I am just bringing the groups up at 20 at a time so they can go have their minute. And Sarge is great with the fans. But at one point, the next group wasn't ready to come up. I don't know what the holdup was, but they weren't ready for me to get them. And so I was standing there, and his agent or handler, I don't know, said, "Would you like a pic with Sarge?" And I said, "I'd love one, but I didn't want to, I don't want to step." And he's like, "No, get up there." Sarge stood up, and he said, "You want the Cobra Clutch?" Because almost everybody does. And I said, "Sarge, if it's cool with you, I would love to lock up." And he went, and he stood up. And I'm sure you've been close to Sergeant Slaughter before, right? I mean,
he's as tall as you.
taller. I'm 6'2". He's got to be 6'4", plus
he's
the hat.
6'4", yeah.
Plus the hat, right? With the mirrored sunglasses and the chin, he stood up and kept standing up. And we got the lock of the full collar and elbows. So we're locked up good. And I smiled, we get the photo, and then I let go, but he doesn't. He's still got me. I'm not going anywhere until Sarge says so, right? And I don't know what's going on, but
oh my God.
Okay. So we're locked up, and he starts pulling me in. And in the collar and elbow, if you pull the guy, if he's not stronger than you, he goes. I'm not stronger than Sarge. And if he's pulling me in, I'm going with. I don't know what the deal is, but cool. So he pulls me in crazy close. I'm this far away from his nose. So my chin is probably touching his, just given the geometry of it.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm right. All I can see is the top of my face in his mirrored sunglasses. And he goes, "If I was wrestling a guy I was friends with, I'd put my taped thumb and dip it in iodine." And I'm like, I don't know where this is going. We're this close. And he starts thumbing my nose.
Oh, no.
Like not going in, right? But he's just doing this. I have no idea what the hell is going on and whether this is a psychotic break or not. And he's just doing my nose. And I'm like, he's the boss, man. Whatever he says goes. So he thumbs my nose for a little bit. He goes, "Yeah, I dip my thumb in iodine and I jam it right up there." And I'm like, what the hell is going on? And then he pulls me an inch closer and he goes, "He'd smell that shit for a week." And then he let me go. And I'm like,
thank God he let you go.
I couldn't even believe that happened. Like, cool. I appreciate it, Sarge. So much better than a Cobra Clutch.
Oh, way better. Those 80s wrestlers have that PTSD from the locker room days. I'm telling you. Oh, that's
I still
amazing.
hear that. You're rattling in my brain. He'd smell that shit for a week.
I love Sarge, man. He's cool. Let's Cobra Clutch some 50th anniversary. So this was the brand when you worked on it. It's the 50th, and now this was all at Toys R Us. You were saying?
Yep, all at Toys R Us. Maybe some of it went to Big Bad Toy Store, maybe online, but for a physical presence, it was all Toys R Us.
Crazy. What made working on the 50th so special to you? Would you say?
I mean, it wasn't that it was the 50th. It was just working on Joe, right?
Just working on Joe. Period. Cool.
When I first applied to Hasbro, they had an opening on the GI Joe team, so I threw my hat in the ring from McFarlane Toys to work on Joe, and they brought me out and I interviewed essentially for Joe, and then when they offered me the position, they actually had a job. They either added a job or somebody left, I forget, but they had a more pressing need on Transformers. So they said, "How about Transformers?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, cool."
You'll take anything at that point, yeah.
Well, if Joe was number one, but Transformers was number two for me. So yeah, I'll work on Transformers.
Yeah,
sure.
for sure.
But I really wanted to fix Joe, basically, because when I got there, I think we're coming right off the first movie. And so it was, the movie was such an opportunity missed. So I wanted to try to fix the brand. But I did Transformers first. And then they were working on the third, what was at the time, the third G.I. Joe movie, intended to be a sequel to Retaliation. And I'm like, yeah, sign me up. So I moved. It was a lateral move position-wise. But I got to work on G.I. Joe on new movie product for Daryl DePriest, who's a legend in the brand, right? So that was the joy to me. Not so much that it was 50th anniversary. That was already launched by the time I got there. I sort of inherited the 50th anniversary.
Got it.
But just the opportunity to work on Joe, that was the win for me.
Very cool. Did you have a regret as a brand manager? Like, oh, I could have did this on Joe and I dropped the ball on that, or no,
I think the regret, if I were to look back at it and take the fan out of it for me, is Joe was a much more dangerous place to be than Transformers. Transformers was never going to lose a lot of item count. They were never going to stop making Transformers movies. Moving from Transformers to Joe was more dangerous for me, but I believe that I had done really, really good work on Transformers. If you look at when I have my resume updated, the only number I have on it is on the generation segment of Transformers, I lifted their gross profit 900% over 2 years. So I did, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I did hellaciously profitable work on Transformers. And I thought they wouldn't forget that once I was on Joe, even though Joe didn't have the item count and I would never bring in the dollars that I did for Transformers on Joe.
Right.
I thought if Joe didn't turn out for whatever reason, they would remember the money that came in on Transformers on my watch, and I would either move back or move to Star Wars or Marvel or whatever. So at the time I didn't view it as dangerous. I just loved the opportunity to fix the brand I had always cared for the most.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. All right, let's get into a couple of questions. Mark, is Wolf Squad an unofficial name for the Joe's sub-team for the 50th anniversary line?
Basically, and it was the brainchild or the baby of John Violet, who was my designer. He worked out in L.A. And I was in the Pawtucket office, but he wanted this sub-team of Wolf Squad. And so there were certain guys that were on it and certain guys that weren't, but it was never terribly well defined because other than the comics, we didn't have any kind of entertainment for Joe at the time. So you can say,
so that relates to the classified now in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Energon and that's about it.
Yeah. And I like what they're doing with Energon. And it's nifty to see the comics rolling in a different direction. But comics are comics, right? There's a certain ceiling to how much they can do, no matter how well written or drawn they are. And I'm a huge comic fan, big comic collector. But having a comic is nice, but it's not as good as having a web comic. and certainly not as good as being on television or having feature films. So there's definitely a sliding scale there for the value it brings.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love the packaging, this kind of tray packaging here with the 50th logo, and it's very clean. You know, you can see everything, but the figures still have a presence. It's not overwhelmed by the accessories. I think it was excellent for the time.
Yeah, and I can't take any credit for it because I really inherited this like
Right.
the snow job and the Arctic bat were the guy before me. But I love almost the exploded view of everything you're getting, because before, I mean, look at all those accessories you're getting. Before, in the offset bubble kind of Joe, they would just be jammed in as tight as possible. And you could tell there was a lot of stuff. Even as a kid, I remember looking at Breaker and going, man, he doesn't come with very much. And then looking at a guy like Scrap Iron, who came with like 11 different things.
Mhm.
And being like, wow, there's a lot of value in there. Even as a kid, you could tell the difference. But I like that we got a lot of credit, really for the first time, for everything you're getting in this 2-pack.
For sure. Last question, and we'll move on. Hey, you're not Rachel anymore. I think you got sick of people calling not Rachel. Carlos, what's going on? Did you work on the Dollar General basic assortment line? Was there supposed to be a third wave?
I didn't work on it. Andrew Franks was the main guy working on it. Two seats to my right when I arrived at Hasbro. And he didn't know I was a Joe fan because I was just a new Transformers guy. And so I finally learned he was working on Joe. He learned I liked Joe. And yeah, I believe he was working on a third wave that didn't go out. And I've always been a collector. So I was a huge fan of that Dollar General line. And later, when I was working on Joe, there was some traction to bring it back to Dollar General. And so I was really hoping I'd be able to do some bare bones repaints with, they came with one weapon each usually, but they were there because it was an exclusive. The item count came from a different team. So it was a way I could have gotten more Joe stuff out there. And even though Dollar General is meant to be after a different customer and a different demographic, the collectors found that stuff right away. So I knew I could help fuel the collector interest we weren't satisfying by our limited Toys R Us lines by hitting it at Dollar General, and it never actually got greenlit. So I was hopeful, but it never got very far.
Speaking of collections, what would you say your classified figure of the year is?
I don't even have him yet, but just looking at photos, that Law and Order looks like such a good pack, right? And his hair is a little redder than I remember, so I'm down with that. But come on, I think animals can be overused in Joe and similar lines, but this is one of the icons, right? Like he's such a good boy. So I'm a huge fan of this figure. It's everything I think it should be. So this is my win, even though I don't have him yet.
So you would say, so you think that the classified line maybe has too many figure with pet assortments right now? I mean, I know like Road Pig came with a pit bull,
Yeah,
Raucous, and then now we're getting Desert Scorpion. I mean, that has to come with the giant scorpion. I got to ask you about that. What do you think about that? A Desert Scorpion with the it's almost like a mutated scorpion, and it's going to tie into what Dr. Mindbender is doing.
yeah. I think if you didn't put a scorpion with him, fans would be upset. I don't know that it has to be that big. It's cool, but would I buy more if it was a smaller scorpion? Would I buy more of that pack? Yes, I would. So when you put a giant scorpion with a troop builder, it may mean I'm only buying 2 and not 4. So think about who. I'm not saying the G.I. Joe team has decided this, but think about the direction of the line, which is totally collector focused. And I think sometimes we lose sight of the fact that, and I know I do, and I have to think about it, that collectors don't have bottomless wallets. And very rarely do people only collect one thing. You see it sometimes when Haslabs pile up at the same time. And then you wonder why one is struggling or both are struggling. Well, there's a chunk of collectors who want both, but probably can't afford both. So by putting them out at the same time, you're making them choose. Whereas if you'd done one in the spring and one in the fall, maybe their funds would have allocated better. I hear it answering customer emails for Valaverse once in a while. A guy will say a guy broke his rifle on this guy. And he'll be like, can you send me a new rifle? And if we have it, sure. But if they broke it, they have to pay for shipping on it. I'll give you a free rifle, but I'm not going to pay to ship it to you. I didn't break your rifle. It arrived in good shape. But I'll pitch and say, if you're going to make a new order, I can just throw it in there whenever you make an order at no charge. If you need it now, yeah, it's going to cost you a couple bucks. And once in a while, more frequently than you think, a guy will say, totally cool, I'm planning a new order, but after the first, right? Once I get my paycheck. And you got to remember, and I forget it too, even the guy who's been in the business for quite a while, there are a ton of collectors who know what they want, they just can't get it yet, right? They've only got $50 out of a paycheck that they're going to put towards toy. So not everybody can buy what they want when they want. And, if Snake Eyes didn't come with a polar bear, would you sell more Snake Eyes? Maybe. Overall, would you make more money? I'm not sure. But a desert scorpion with a smaller scorpion that costs $10 less, I know I'd buy one more. So, and maybe that's just my own collector.
Because they always have that.
But
yeah, they always have that retro carded backup plan too.
Yeah.
Where they can kind of trim things down, throw it on, slap it on a card, and re-release it at a normal. They did that with the Snow Serpent.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, and I look at it like Carson Metaxas, who's doing that fantastic new G.I. Joes with the old collectors or with the old designers and everybody working on it.
Yeah.
I love everything about that, except it feels like half or 2/3 of the figures have an animal. And so it feels like a trip to the zoo, kind of, right? And if everybody has an animal, it doesn't make them all cool. It makes the 4 guys without them look like losers. What's wrong with that
You're
guy?
right.
He doesn't have a
You're
pet.
right.
Even the dogs don't like him. So anyway, that's a nitpick.
A very, very valid point. Here's a extremely cool figure because we have the same most anticipated classified figure. And there's no pet needed because it's hit and run. But more importantly, I got to ask you about the hit and run in the middle. I am not familiar with that version at all. I do have this image though.
Yeah, he came in a 3-pack, and the 3-packs and the man, I was pitching a 7-pack, and they did some at Big Bad Toy Store, right? And they were I don't even know if it's sneaky, but they were my favorite way to give a middle finger to the item count bean counters at Hasbro, who said, you only get 6 items this year. Yeah. And then invariably they would come and say, well, Nerf needs an item. And I'm like, well, go take it from Transformers. They got 205 items. I got 7. You're coming to me for Nerf? Come on.
But 7 items, but 30 figures in those 7 items.
That's it, right? So a 3-pack only counts as 1. That's 1 item. Now, you wouldn't ever have enough tooling dollars to make 3 new builds, right? You probably couldn't even do 3 new heads around your line. You gotta spread it out a little bit. So I was always looking for ways, how can I take a guy who's popular but hasn't been skinned a certain way? Or a lot of the hay I made with the limited grocery spend I had was re-releasing figures that had barely gotten out, right? Remember there was a mass device pack that was really hard to find, and it came with the only modern Alpine, right? So I put Alpine in the 3-pack with a Troop Builder Rock Viper and somebody else, because everyone likes Troop Builders, and Alpine was really hard to get. There were barely released versions of Blowtorch and Crocmaster, the green Blowtorch and the red Crocmaster. But if they got out, I can put them out again, and they're re-releases that don't cost me an item off my item count of 7. So I really tried to dig into who was who was underserved to the fan community. It didn't help the originals price on eBay, but that's not my job. My job is to make stuff fans want to buy.
Exactly.
I think it was the Renegades, or I forget if it was Renegades or Resolute Storm Shadow, was incredibly hard to find. And it was a really good figure. So I put them in a 2-pack with Snake Eyes. And I don't want to take too much credit for putting Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in a 2-pack, but they hardly ever did it. Why would that's a go-to? And Joe had just not done it much over the years. So that's an easy one. But yeah, Hit and Run, I'm with you. Hit and Run is more popular than he has any right to be, because they didn't use him in the cartoon. They didn't use him in the comic very much. But he's so legit looking military that, and those are always the Joes that spoke to me most, the guys who looked like they could be real soldiers. And this is should have been a C-level Joe that's probably an A- or a B+ at worst.
Yeah.
People love Hit and Run. He's kind of like, I'm glad they're doing Mercer. Mercer is way more popular than he has any right to be, given the exposure he got. But he's easily the best Renegade. So, and I think the only one that got a second version. So I love it when they hit these guys. And it actually surprises me that it took them this long to get to Hit and Run, because he's a sure win. As long as he doesn't have Falcon face, this is a can't miss figure.
Can't have Falcon face with green paint covering it. And
I don't know, paint that Falcon face green, and it's still pretty atrocious.
It'll look like a troll. But we got the Halo jumper is pretty much the predecessor to this. I mean, they could just, I mean, it is pretty much Hit and Run. Just color it up a little bit differently, and I mean, you got them already made. But that said, I don't care if it's reuse or not. We need this original one.
Yeah, and I don't.
Like,
the reuse bit doesn't bother me, because I know people would talk all the way back to McFarlane, right? We would reuse a pose and put a new head on it, and people would go, "Oh, it's just I don't know, Kurt Warner pose again," but now it's Matthew Stafford. And I'm like, yeah, that's the only way you get it, right? You weren't getting a brand new sculpt in this spot. This spot was head swap. So it was always going to be somebody's existing body with a new head on it. As long as you can criticize within those parameters. I wish they hadn't have done Hit and Run. I wish they would have done Recoil, because all he needs is his Devo hat, and it'll look like Recoil, right? Like that's a legitimate argument. But if you say I didn't want Hit and Run, I wanted Globulus, like, okay, obviously they didn't have the tooling dollars for Hit and Run to be brand new head to toe, theoretically. But you couldn't just make him Globulus, right? Because you're going to have to sculpt the tail. So I always I remember on McFarlane boards especially, I would say, just make sure your suggestion is apples to apples. Don't tell me I didn't want that cliff jumper that was just a Bumblebee repaint. You wanted Triptychon, right? Like, not even the same universe. Just make a smart argument. I didn't want Hit and Run. I wanted fast draw. Okay, cool. We can do that. Devo hat. Hated that hat. And the bright blue weapons. Recoil was the most authentic military guy in years. And they gave him a Devo hat and bright blue weapons. So bad.
Sometimes the decisions that were made. Oh, we're going to move on to the next subject, but like maybe in 30 seconds or less, what is the decision behind this gray silver version of Hit and Run?
I think Hit and Run never had a second version, and I'm not sure you can improve on it, right? Like,
right.
But sometimes guys like that, like Shockwave, was a fantastic show, but his Night Force figure was better, right? And if you don't believe me, go on eBay. But Hit and Run needed to be different, and I think this was basically a Wolf Squad motif. It was the gray with a darker gray with that red Violator color. And so I didn't push for it to be this color. I think this was John Violet's choice, and his Wolf Squad was his baby. So I think he must have, I don't remember for sure, but he probably showed this as a deco sheet, and it looked cool and cool. As a marketer, you really have to pick your battles with a designer, especially one that's on the other coast. So, we're on the phone, we're on Zoom-ish calls, but it's not the same as being down the hall from going and sitting next to John Warden to discuss a Transformers thing, or chatting with Bobby about Marvel Legends stuff, right? So as a marketer, you really got to pick your fights, because there are a ton of marketers who believe that design reports to them, and they'll just tell the designer how it's going to be. So there's a reason why marketers and designers are cats and dogs a lot. And I always tried never to be that way. So if I pushed for something, it was because it was something I really believed in. And I didn't always win, but I didn't push too much. That way my designer knew if he's pushing, it must mean a lot to him for some reason. And if it was in the middle, I would, by and large, I would let that go.
Just so they know you enough to know you care, but not like bullying almost.
Yeah, yeah, and in the end, the bottom line is, it can't hurt the brand. Nothing. You can't let anything go that would hurt the brand. And will this sell one more figure or one less figure? How big of a change are we actually talking about here? And you choose your battles. Some you fight, some you don't, some you win, some you don't either. So
cool. So I don't know if I didn't check the follow-up message, but our friends at What's on Joe Mine are not on tonight, I think. So we're gonna hold on to a little longer, say another 30 minutes, and then my boys will jump on. So we're gonna push it back. This conversation another 15 minutes so we can get into some stuff. The next thing we'll talk about, you got a lot of questions about the Snowcat.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on that decision? And how would you have marketed it?
I like the vehicle. I like that it's bigger, that it's bulkier. I think it's worthy of being a Haslab spot. The bivouac I get, because they'll tool it up for this, but they'll sell it separately later on in green.
Right.
I never thought the bivouac was that exciting a playset myself, which is weird because I thought Checkpoint Alpha was great. And they're not really all that different, but I thought the campsite kind of stuff and the food accessories and the stuff, I don't know. I thought that was a little trite for me, but I wasn't surprised that it got funded. I wasn't surprised that it had a big jump at the end, because almost everything does, right? It starts hot, it fades out in the middle. It gains little bumps when they're near stretch goals, and then there's always a big push at the end. So
it's almost like an eBay auction. Nobody into the last 5 minutes, and you think you're only going to make what you spent on it, and then you make double at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the lights look great. I like Flint and Lady J. That's a cool bit. So I'm okay with it, and I don't know if that puts me in the minority, because it felt like most people were really hit or miss on this. You could actually call it polarizing if you want to be terrible.
Yeah,
but I'm
okay
like
to be terrible on this show with Dad. Hey, you're in the right place.
I'm gonna fit right in. I personally, I'm a big Steeler fan, so I was hoping for a tank and hoping for a Mobat at some point, but now that we're getting Steeler in a 2-pack, I don't think we're getting that Mobat. Maybe ever. Maybe we'll get a Mauler and we'll get heavy metal instead. But I was really hoping for a Joe tank. The Snowcat is cool, but man, there's nothing quite like an actual tank rolling over the hill. So that's what I was thinking.
I want to pick your brain on the, there's a lot of talk about with Marvel, and we'll talk about that later on with the toy kind of mood, but the Sentinel 97 and Dragon Man, which I got on my display, and he's one of my favorite figures of the year. They were made to order, and we got Mephisto, which just was the last day, was, a couple days ago. How do you feel about Marvel Legends made to order, and is that something that Hasbro needs to have for these Mobat, these vehicles that are just too expensive for Target and Walmart shelves, but maybe too small for Haslabs, would you say?
Yeah, I think the thing about Joe, I mean, Joe has always been as much a vehicle line as it was a figure line. And there, because of the scale of classified, there are vehicles that are just hard to do and maybe impossibilities, right? Like even people asking for the whale. I'm like, whale to scale is what, 4 feet long? Like, oof, I don't know. There has to be a limit, but there's a ton of really good smaller vehicles that you can do. You have one right here, the Skyhawk, right? And I know there are third-party Skyhawks out there, right? So obviously it can be done, but the Wolf isn't quite Snowcat size. It's reasonable, but I don't know. When you look at the Wolf, I think it's not as cool or as memorable as the Snowcat. Maybe because it was a little bit rickety. I don't know. It's a villain item. The driver isn't as cool, even though he comes with Psy in the Arctic. Don't know why.
I love the Arctic Viper, though. I mean, the
He's a
Ice
cool
Viper.
thing. I just think
Yeah.
he's not as cool as Wild Weasel or Wild Bill or
or
Frostbite
even Frostbite. Yeah.
yeah,
sure.
like a named guy. Like you'd have to, if they did the Wolf and they did the Arctic Viper as the guy who, or the Ice Viper comes with it, you'd have to have like Arctic Baroness as the next unlock, right? Or some kind of named figure with some thunder behind it.
Right.
So I guess I could see it, but I don't know. I just think I'm always worried that they're going to make a Haslab pick that doesn't set the world on fire. And if one doesn't fund, what does that mean for the next one, right? Does it make them gun shy for the next one when, a Wolf may not have funded, but a Thunder Machine would have, right? Sometimes it's just in the choice and not in the collector base or in the marketing or the push of it. Sometimes it's just what you picked.
Well, a lot of people seem to believe, and we've said this for a long time now, it feels like 2 years, that the Thunder Machine could just be a made-to-order vehicle where it's not like the Vamp. It's not under $100, but it's in that sweet spot where it could be 125 to 150, include Thrasher, and you don't have lights and all that, but it is a bigger vehicle that you could do on Pulse, made to order. And then you picked one that you said never came out. Was it the hammer? Something
Yeah.
you wanted to work on, and this could be one of those, right? Made to order, or is this too big? Would this be a Haslab?
I mean, the hammer's a pretty big toy. Like it dwarfs the Vamp in their original forms. I love it.
That's the thing. It's kind of this could be made to order. Looking at it.
Well, it didn't. It came without a driver originally. So if you want to make something a little more affordable, they don't have to come with drivers. Anybody could drive the hammer, right? So, but G.I. Joe, the classified brand, has gone the opposite way, where they're creating drivers to go with small vehicles that never had them before, right? The Cobra Claw coming with its Claw pilot gal. Claw never had a pilot. It was just a piece of equipment anybody could fly. So I'm not saying that's right or wrong. It's just different, but it's obviously a clear strategy that they want to put a driver with a vehicle to make it, I don't want to say to make it more expensive, but they must believe that that's the win, is figure with vehicle. I don't think we've ever gotten a vehicle without a driver, right?
The closest thing would be that Snake armor that's coming, but that's like a mech. But it used to have, didn't it have Cobra Trooper? Cobra Trooper came with it, or is just capable of having one?
It didn't come with it originally.
Okay, but it's just so they're following suit with that. They do like to follow tradition on a lot of things. People overlook that. I think that's one thing Lenny he's honored tradition while still classifying things up and creating his own different drivers and characters as well.
And I think that's a fine line to walk, because you don't want to be slavish to designs from 1982, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever. You want them to look modern military, and yet if you miss a key detail, it won't feel like that character anymore. So Like, you can do whatever you want with Shipwreck, but you better get his tattoo right. So it's a fine line to walk in. By and large, I think they've done a good job with it. My big complaint, other than the brutal chest cut, and that's everywhere, even at my company, is God, I couldn't, when I was there with very limited item count, I couldn't wait to create new characters. I mean, brand new characters. No offense to the Trench Viper, who I think is really good. But yeah, it's a Viper built from other Vipers, right? When I was there, man, we made Sletta, right? We made Tombstone. We made brand new characters. And I don't want to give myself a whole ton of credit because they used to make 20 new ones a year. And so I would make one or two and be excited about it, right?
Was this one of them?
Oh, this guy's awesome. The problem here is, so this is how it came out. He was never supposed to have a scar over that right eye. That's completely the opposite of what I
like
did.
Zeus.
This was before Black Panther, the movie, came out, right?
Right.
But if this had come out afterwards, my pitch would have been called a ripoff of Killmonger. I wanted a really physically attractive and vain Cobra Field Commander. The pitch I made was, I want the guy who blows up the Hoover Dam and then waits for the news helicopters to get his good side. That's what he was supposed to be. And so in a way that Killmonger was an unrepentant villain, but a cool guy, and I'm told a very good looking guy, right? That's what this guy was supposed to be. And the very first paint master we got of him, his right eye was painted. So when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. That's the one we showed off at a Joe Fest. And then when I got the final one, they had a scar dug into him and a dead eye on the right side. And I'm like, how many villains can you have who are disfigured or masked or mutilated in some way because it makes them more evil, right? I wanted to write the opposite script. I wanted a guy who made sure his fade was tight before he went into battle, right?
Corporations want to lean on tropes because that's what they know.
Yeah, and this was a sticking point for me because when I fought for something on a figure, I won maybe half the time, right? And I don't have to win. If it's important enough, I want my voice to be heard. This is one where it was misunderstood between myself and the designer. And so what was done, I didn't lose this. There was never a sit down where they said, nope, we're going to give him a dead eye and a scar. It just came this way and too late to change. And so whether that's miscommunication or the ability to just go, you know what, it's such a small line, I'll make the change and it'll be done before anybody can change it back. It disappoints me because it shows bad sync between marketing and design. And I always prided myself on having excellent sync with design, and it just didn't work for this guy. So if this guy ever gets made in classified, I hope they make him Killmonger and they don't make him Deadeye Dave, because it still makes me mad. But
very cool.
Brand new character.
Yeah.
And the inside baseball here, when I was on Transformers, at the very end, right before I left, I had done a legal search for the name Tombstone and found it was available. So I wanted to lock it down for Transformers. I wanted to make a Decepticon that turned into a hearse and name him Tombstone. He would have been creepy, and quiet and all dark gray and black. And think Undertaker as a Decepticon. That's what I wanted it to be. But then then I left the brand. So I'm on Joe and I want to make a new Cobra. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure Tombstone's still available. And it was. So we used it for Joe for this guy. But also I wanted to save it for the Transformers team, because I still knew lots of people on that team. Somebody make me a Decepticon hearse named Tombstone. It'll be awesome.
All right, we'll go to the next pick. These are your five top 5 from the 50th anniversary that you'd like to see in classified. No order or anything, but we got Sightline here, and with all the Arctic stuff going on, I think this is a good choice.
Yeah, I had nothing to do with the genesis of this figure. This was coming out as a Toys R Us 2-pack. Well, 2-pack, 2 vehicles. He came with a Sky Striker pack and a
Right here.
Yeah, and that orange hiss. And so he was, all I knew was this is what he looked like, and his name was going to be Sightline. Okay. And this was the one when I was brand new to the brand. It was the spring. I joined in the fall, and I think it was that spring that Gary Goggles had passed away. And I didn't know him, but he was really important in the community, a wonderful guy by everybody's recollection. And Hasbro had just put down their foot and said, no more employees with their heads sculpted as stormtroopers, no more file cards with your aunt's last name on it. Like they wanted, I think somebody had, a former Hasbro guy who had been maybe the face or the name for heavy duty or something, had filed a lawsuit. That's me. And it kind of was. He actually had a legitimate argument. Not that they made money off his likeness, but if you're former Hasbro and you're retired and you think you can make a buck, there's an argument to be made there. So the legal department said, we're done. No more of this blurred lines between real people and the figures that they're in. And with this, I said to Daryl the priest, who was running the brand, I said, it would mean a ton if we could make this an homage to Gary Goggles, right? And I said, and he was like, they won't let us do it, Webb. And I said, well, just follow me here. There's not an inch of skin visible on this guy. He could look like anybody. So there's no legal claim to that's me. It looks like me. It doesn't look like anybody. He's totally covered. And Gary was known online as Gary Goggles, real name Gary Head. And I said, Gary Goggles is not his legal name. And the only way we would do this is with the full endorsement and blessing of his family, and with some proceeds to go to his family. Because, oh God, he was like 35 when he passed away. He was so young. We were all younger back then. But 35, I think he had 2 kids and a wife, and it was just a tragedy on its own. It's a tragedy, but it was a Joe tragedy because he was such a big member of the community. And I made that pitch, and Daryl took it to the family, because if they didn't want to do it, it would have been done right
That's
there.
it. Yeah.
But he had met him. He knew him, and I didn't. And Daryl went to the family, and they loved the idea. And so Daryl's the one that went to legal right after Hasbro had said, no more of this stuff. Daryl went up those stairs, and it was upstairs at Hasbro. I wasn't in the meeting, but he went up and he got it pushed through. And so this figure, which is a cool figure on its
awesome.
own,
Yeah,
but it's an homage to Gary Goggles, who meant so much to the community. And I've always been very clear about this. I didn't know him. I knew who he was, but I never met him. He never met me. But I understood what he meant and what a loss it was to the community. So the fact that this got made at all is cool. The fact that it got made right after Hasbro sent out a company-wide memo, none of this anymore, and we got one more made. I was really, really happy about this thing.
Yeah, we have to shout another Mark and Ben from Skeletron, who are also paying homage for Geyer Viper in their Skeletron line for Gary Goggles as well. So
Yeah,
shout out to them.
It's great. And the only disappointment was nobody had shared it with the comic and with Larry. And so when Larry finally put Sightline in a G.I. Joe book, he didn't have his face covered, and he looked nothing like Gary Goggles.
Great communication.
Small miss.
Cool. All right.
Not his fault.
Yeah, we got about 15 minutes, so we'll barrel through these a little and we got Stiletto was another choice.
Yeah, Stiletto was, at the time, we had just launched the Kindle Worlds program where people could write fan fiction about G.I. Joe. And as long as it was approved by Hasbro, they could post it and sell it on Kindle Worlds. And Hasbro got a cut and they got a cut. And so part of my job was to go through those and proof them, make sure they were okay, make sure there was nothing inappropriate in there on a bunch of different levels. But we actually ran a contest saying some new character from a Kindle World story is going to become an actual action figure. And we ran I think it was Andrew Griffith drew, who was drawing a Joe book at the time, did pencil and ink sketches of the four finalists. And we put them up online and people voted and Stiletto won. And she was my favorite. So I was happy she won. It was a totally legit process. But the coolest bit was all four guys got the original artwork for their character that I think it was Andrew Griffith had drawn. And so even for the guys that didn't win, that didn't get their character turned into a figure, they still got original artwork from the guy drawing the Joe book at the time of somebody they created in their own fiction. So
Wow.
I love that kind of outreach. We did it on Transformers with the fan built bot that the fans made Windblade, who became a big deal in the Transformers mythos and toy line. So I love that stuff.
That's wow.
Yeah, they should do that more. Lenny and I ran that project that made Windblade in the Transformers universe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's that kind of fan connection that will keep a line going for a long time. And and there was a great comment. Yeah, this could be a Mad Marauder, like a Jinx repaint in a way. You know, at least retooling with Mad Marauder colors and a long ponytail and throwing a few rifles, and we're good.
This is one of the things I fought for. She was supposed to be an operative, very military, and not ninja, although she was going to come with some blades. And originally they gave her Zorana's shoulders, those sort of vented shoulder pads. Mm-hmm. And it didn't look military at all. And so that was one of my pushbacks. And I didn't push often, but I'm like, she's not a ninja. There's too much ninja in G.I. Joe. So you can give her swords and knives, no problem. But she's got to look military. I think those are Lady J's shoulder pads or shoulders we ended up.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. And then ironically, I reviewed a Operation Monster Force Apophis Legion character last night. That's pretty much a zombie Cobra Trooper, a zombie Viper, if you will. But you had a selection in the line, a 2-pack here. And
and this is another one it's so dumb I shouldn't take credit for it, right? Yeah, and that's right. That's important. I should have said Bill Nedro created Stiletto, and his Joe fiction was incredible. And he also wrote the Action Force book. Great writer, a real talent. But this, I shouldn't take credit for this. It's just dumb the way the brand had handled it for years. Like I think 2 years prior or 1 year prior, they put Blowtorch and a Heat Viper in a 2-pack. So I know every Joe collector out there had as many Heat Vipers as they wanted, one Blowtorch, and a whole pile of Blowtorches they didn't need. It was just dumb to put a named character with a troop builder in a 2-pack. So the Zombie Viper was one that was hard to find because people were wanting to build out their zombie horde. No one zombie ever attacks a building. Everybody wanted a zombie horde. And so I went, we'll use the Zombie Viper because he doesn't cost me an item. He's not even a repaint. He's just a figure fans couldn't get enough of because he was like 1 to a case or something. So we put him in a 2-pack, and then I forget if we heavy packed him or just even packed him, but you can get 2 Zombie Vipers for $15 instead of having to chase one down on the road. It's dumb to even take credit for it, but they weren't doing it. And so the cousin to this, I did a pack with a Cobra Viper and a Iron Grenadier together, right? And originally it's like, well, that's a Cobra and that's a Destro Trooper. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care. They're both troopers. Nobody
Yeah.
collects just Cobra, but not Destros stuff. Nobody collects just Destros stuff, but not Cobra.
Yeah.
Just trust me. Just put it out, and it'll sell. And you know what? Who knew? Fans like
Became your
troop
most
builders,
popular
and
item.
they like buying them together. So this went over big. And at the
So I gotta-
at the reveal on the GI Joe panel, I revealed one of them sliding in from a side, like claw up and one hand up, and then another one from the other side, and they did a big superhero high five in the middle.
Nice. I got to show you this one then. So this is, I did a full video last night. You guys can check it out later, but Operation Monster Force, shout out to Fresh Monkey Fiction and Big Bad Workshop. They did it at Polfus Legion, and it comes with multiple different heads, but this is pretty much a zombie Cobra Trooper, zombie Viper, whatever you want to call it, right? So it's pretty close in a way. And then you even got, oh, here it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, they just really, the shoulders too. Yeah, it's, look at this.
That's
It's
lit.
all over the place,
Yeah.
the deco. And so I had to get your opinion on that because
It's
you know
cool.
you helped make the Viper, or at least promote it.
It looks like Hangover Flint.
Hangover Flint.
Yeah, Flint's on a really bad day.
That's awesome. All right, cool. One more, and before we have one last little section, and before we let you go, so the next one is gonna be, oh, there it is. That was just the file card for it. So I wanted to shoot the file. The file cards were cool. I like it.
I wanted to bring the file cards back, and that was an
you
easy
certainly
way to do
did,
it.
and we talked about that. Like, just throw them all on the damn website.
Yeah.
You know. All right. Another troop builder, kind of like a Darth Vader Crimson Guard in a way. It's the Cobra Shadow Guard.
Yeah, and this is great because this is obviously this is a figure where I only had a slot for a repaint, right? So I don't remember what 2-pack he came in, but the other guy must have been new. So in a 2-pack, if one of them's new, okay, cool. Both figures are only counting as one against my item count. So I can repaint the other guy, and it doesn't cost me item. And I say repaint very, very loosely because there ain't a whole lot of deco ops on this guy.
No,
But
it's just paint
the
black, baby.
Crimson Guard's so iconic, right? But he's iconic for the look, even in black and white. The look is tremendous. But it's the red that makes it the Crimson Guard. And so I thought flip it on its head and give him no red whatsoever. I thought this would look incredible. And I'm still a fan of how it turned out. And again, it is, as some fans would say, just a repaint. But if that's all I had room for, this is pretty good. If you're going to beat this with something better that would sell more, you would have to take a figure and only repaint. So I'll take the Pepsi challenge with this anytime. As a repaint, this is a pretty damn good figure.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we talked about new characters that Lenny was coming up with, and he decided to make a Twilight Guard with this. And I thought it was cool because it had like Halloween kind of colors. It had like the orange linear lining inside the cape, and it had some purple deco accented with the silver and black. So it's kind of a homage to the Shadow Guard in a way, but kind of just Lenny's twist on that. So I wanted you to have an opinion on the Twilight.
And I think it's much more important to have those little hits of color, even on a figure that you want to be mainly muted or mainly black. At a larger scale, this guy wouldn't look as good, right? He would need more deco at the 6-inch scale because he would look cheap almost. Bigger would make him look cheaper because it would be more evident how much of him is just one out of the mold, one plastic color. So he would need more larger. And so I don't know, and like I said, I don't know any of the inside baseball. But if the genesis was, let's do a Shadow Guard or let's do a Shadow Guard update, adding some deco to it and some Violator colors like the orange and the purple absolutely makes sense. And so I don't know that happened, but
For sure.
I could see that discussion happening that way.
Plastic Battles has a great comment because you talked about there being no new characters, but I know what you meant, Mark. You just meant like characters with a name, a personality, a whole story, not just, hey, I made the Valkyries, which were female Cobra Troopers, or the Twilight Guard, which is a homage, like, and what like all the other vehicle drivers that are new. I think you meant like a guy like Tombstone. Like he hasn't
Yeah.
really even the closest he got was Wolf Spider because he called it Parth Vama. Yet we never got a face sculpt for him, and he was supposed to be like an Indian type character. So I was waiting for characters from like Star Wars to fill the void and to get the head sculpt on, but they weren't great sculpts. But I think they haven't gone all the way. Lenny hasn't been able to, not his
Right.
fault, but able to go all the way and give us a new character with actual like a full personality and a
Right.
human type qualities, right? Like face sculpt, new face
Yeah.
sculpt, new name.
Totally.
That's what you meant, not
Yeah.
like painting different colors. Like we're gonna get a Arctic saw viper. It was teased in a video for the Snowcat. Like that's just a repaint. Like it's
Yeah.
a new army builder, right? That's
Yeah,
what you meant.
It's not bad. You know, I'm glad. I would rather get it than just a different, you know, a blue saw viper. Yeah, polar saw viper, cool, great. But you know, it is what it is. Wolf Spider is as close as I think we've gotten to it, and you know, he didn't set the world on fire. But like you said, I don't believe that's Lenny going, I don't want to be creative in this wave, right? I believe it comes down from up high where they say, look, this is a fan-focused adult collector brand. You have 580 different figures to choose from. Play the hits, make sure it's profitable. And if the pushback was, can I do 2 brand new characters? I could absolutely see the higher ups saying, why would you do new characters? You already have 580 to choose from that are proven winners. Play the hits. I could see that from a guy up top because as far as I knew, no one in my time there, and probably since, nobody above Daryl DePriest at the vice president level understood Joe. Nobody. And some of them completely misunderstood Joe. Like the gal who shot down me and Bobby's 6-inch G.I. Joe line. Yeah. I don't think, no, never going to happen. Never going to happen. Okay.
Well, hey, speaking of Bobby, we gotta ask as the manager there of operations, and I think you already answered in private chat. You said this is your favorite figure of the year, Sidewinder. So
Yeah.
tell me what.
So I absolutely love Sidewinder as a figure. So if you're not familiar with Action Force, it's set in the very near future after the dissolution of the United States. So the states run themselves, and it's opened the door for mercenaries and private security. And there is no United States. It's just the states. And the bad guys are on the move in the South, mainly kind of out of Texas. This is where they've bled over into Mexico. And so Sidewinder is our first Mexican character. And it was also big on the fans because his holster, if you look at it right in the middle there under his vest, is a left-handed holster. So he's supposed to be our first lefty. And because Action Force is very customizable, that kind of difference is really important to the guys who do customs to be able to have a left-handed holster for the first time. But
should have told the photographer.
That's it. The photo came in, he's holding the gun right-handed. So he's not our first lefty. He's our first ambidextrous figure to make it work. But the concept behind this is that the garrison, the bad guys, are working their way south of the border. They're invading a town, and they find all the civilians are retreating, and not this guy, who's actually giving first aid to a wounded person and not running. So they capture him, and they conscript him, and he's working for the bad guys. And in a gigantic battle, he is left behind. The good guys capture him, and he spills the tea. He lets them know exactly where the bad guys are coming from, because he never wanted to work for them. And he wants them destroyed, and this was his first opportunity. Okay, cool. His intel turns the tide. The good guys win. The Colonel Siege, who runs the good guys, who runs Action Force, takes him under his wing. He becomes the bodyguard to the top good guy. And yet, he's a former villain. And he only gave up intel after he'd been captured. So it's a little bit of a white queen kind of thing, right? Is
Mhm.
this guy really working for the good guys, or is he just playing the hand he was dealt? And the top guy, Colonel Siege, believes in him and trusts him implicitly. He's the bodyguard for the good guy's main leader. And so it could play out in entertainment. And I don't know which way it would go, but eventually you have the part where the bad guys bust in and they have Siege dead to rights, except his bodyguard standing between them. And then it's like wrestling, man. You could play that either way you want, right? He either
Mhm.
draws a line in the sand and goes, first one over this line dies, and the crowd goes nuts. Or he pulls out his gun and does literally a heel turn,
Right.
and he's the worst villain you've ever met. I love
That's
that.
that's why we got so many ex wrestlers or current wrestlers work in all these military movies, right? It makes sense because
Yeah,
it's rooted. Wrestling stories and narratives are rooted in good and evil,
yeah,
and it works out. And I like that it's well thought. I think it's got a great face sculpt. Action Force figures always come packed out. So, and then I love, the representation is needed, right?
yeah,
Obviously, like if half your fan base is Latino and you don't have a Latino character, there's a problem there, right? So
yeah.
I think it's well
The
done.
coolest bit, and I got to my favorite thing. I only got to do it a little bit at Hasbro, but I get to write most of the file cards for the Action Force figure. So I got to write this guy's bio, and it's my favorite thing to do in the toy industry. So big fan of this guy, and I didn't know it, but Bobby had already set up for an exclusive version to come to Big Bad Toy Store later this year, and it's mainly black with some nightmare face paint. It's a Dia de los Muertos version of Sidewinder, and it's really cool. So I'm sure you can find that online.
That's a perfect exclusive. Last thing we'll talk about. I mean, I'm a big gamer. We talked about video games with toy games and maybe some of the stuff that GI Joe could do. We want to see an adult GI Joe video game, but Action Force is actually getting the IP to Splinter Cell, which has been historically like you got Metal Gear Solid, and then you got Splinter Cell as kind of that Xbox alternative in a way because Solid Snake was locked behind the Sony, but now it's Ubisoft. So yeah, what do you think about jumping into this IP and how far do you see it going with Sam Fisher?
Honestly, Sam Fisher's the guy, right? But he's
Mm,
not the only guy, and more. I think you could see more. But what I like best about it is in working at McFarlane and working at Hasbro and some other places, when you try to do partnerships. I remember at McFarlane, we wanted to do figures based on the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. And you want to do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre figure, you want to do Leatherface. But the only way the studio would sign off on it was if we did a whole line of like 5 or 6 figures. And guess what? The Jessica Biel figure sold, and the Leatherface figure sold, and the other 4 were dead on arrival. So a licensing deal and I have no idea what this deal looks like. All what I
right.
know is we've announced we're doing a Sam Fisher figure. And so to be able to do the A+ guy everyone wants without having to do an 8 or 9 figure line where you can't go that deep on any IP and not have it fade a little bit, right? So just starting with the A+ guy, that's a big win. So I'm really looking forward to
Mm-hmm. And I want to agree. I want to piggyback off Hyatt's me sentiments. I am really enjoying Mark, his perspective and everything. Great interview, had to be said. And there were a lot of questions, but unfortunately, I overdo it sometimes. And we still have another like hour to the show because there was an event this week called Fan Expo Canada. There were a lot of reveals. As much as we love GI Joe and military toys, we gotta cover everything we can that's major. So Mark will save the questions for later. We'll have to do a show where it's just us and maybe one other person, but no, like we'll format it where it's loose. We won't have to be on a time crunch and we can get questions in. But for the time now, man, this was awesome. Thank you
that.
so much for hanging out today.
I dig it. I appreciate the invite. It's always good. I always like talking to fans because I'm a fan, right? So
Mhm.
that's big. And I also want to give a shout out to my boys at What's on Joe Mind. I left that show kind of abruptly, and it was simply a time crunch thing. Those are still my guys, and I still think they're fantastic. And I think you're fantastic. I appreciate being on the show.
Dude, awesome. Yeah, shout out to What's on Joe Mind. Love those guys, man. And honestly, they were you and those and is I can't even say his name. Irizarry. Am I saying this right?
I'll do it.
Mike and Rob. Man, they're inspirations, right? Along with the full force. And what we do is I started off with that in COVID, watching What's on Joe Mind, watching the full force, watching other shows, and that inspired me to do this one. So can't thank you guys enough. I really appreciate it. Mark, we got to do this again. What an amazing convo, and wish you the best of luck with everything over there at Action Force.
I appreciate it. It's time for action.
That's right. All right, it's time for Bobby and Tony. So we'll see you, Mark. We'll catch you later, huh? Thank you so much. Take care, man. All right. Bobby, thanks for waiting, man. We're in overtime. We're in overdrive here.
Yeah. What's up, buddy?
How are you? I had some Wi-Fi issues today, so I don't know what's going on.
Womp womp.
Where's Tony? He's complaining that we're going overtime and he's not even backstage.
I don't know. What's up, buddy? What's going on?
Man, a lot. Almost too much. Doing a lot of traveling these days, so trying to squeeze everything I can. And I gotta say this, man. Before I formatted the show, I didn't know there was going to be a Fan Expo Canada. I didn't know we were going to get hit with all these reveals. I didn't know we were going to get all that, the G.I. Joe updates and all that stuff. So we probably would have just had a normal show, little McFarlane, little bit of this, a little bit of that, and that it all came within the last few days. So this show was already, these guests were already invited. The show was already written. So it is what it is. We got a marathon show today. So we'll get right into it, man.
It's like
Mysterio.
Yeah, let's do this shit.
A new Mysterio, right? It's carded, but it's not a re-release like Rhino, Jonah, and Sandman that are mysteriously sneaking into Walmarts and still getting scalped. But what do we think of the brand new retro carded Mysterio, man?
I dig it. I dig it. I like the alternate head. I like the I don't know what the pink head is. I'm gonna go. It's the I would use that. This is dark, but the Daredevil issue where Mysterio kills himself. Right. Let's just like have him like it's when he kills himself in front of Matt Murdock. But
wow,
I think
that's deep.
Yeah, it was a very like dark issue, but yeah, everyone makes a great point here. What it comes with, I think gonna make this a little special. I like the Mysterio accoutrement, if you will, with it. Yeah, look at that. Look at like that's just cool. Like I like the fact that you can remove the head. I like the fact that it's world building, right? And I dig that. I like the fact that it is bringing that I'm going to say G.I. Joe aspect to it, right? 'Cause I think what the Joe team did with this last Haslab and what they do with their waves it is more wave building than I think Marvel has been in the past. So I think this is kind of adds to that.
I like this. A new Mysterio equals extra effects for Crystal Ball. And that is like pretty much something that would fit perfectly. Do we have Tony here? Is he here or is he just audio only?
I'll be right there. I'm getting set up.
Great, no problem, man. Joining us from work. Appreciate that.
His time, taking sweet ass time.
But yeah, this is a home run for me. Except it's Walmart Collector Con. I won't boo during the panel, but it's Walmart Collector Con fall exclusive. Pre-order October 9th.
So none of us will get it. Awesome. Cool.
Hey, they're listening.
All right.
They're watching. This is all we're going to do for the rest of the show.
Oh,
sorry.
Stop that. Tony, I saw your doppelganger today at the gym. It was hilarious.
He looked like me.
I mean, not as good looking, but he was like bald, had the goatee, and I'm like, fucking looks like Tony. Holy shit!
Shit. Maybe I was in Albuquerque. I don't know.
This is a good shout too. Mysterio's effects could go good with Monster Force. And we're getting that season 2 has a lot of these spookier characters, more majestic characters in season 2. So yeah, we'll talk about Monster Force at the end. Shout out to G.I. Joe now and forever. Totally. We talked about Arctic stuff earlier with Mark Webber and totally forgot to bring up the fact that we have a new collabo up on Arctic vehicles, our most anticipated Arctic vehicles. So another fun video. The amount of work that Jason brings to that, you guys have no idea. And that new art style looks like a painting. It doesn't look like AI or it looks like a freaking painting, dude. He's killing it on that. Strong guy, Romo, you're a strong guy, I think.
I've been called that.
Exactly. Talk about what you see here on the screen. X Factor strong guy. We don't have to build him anymore. He's going to be building up.
Guido. There you go. Guido, what? Carosella or something like that. That's his name. Yeah. No, man, he looks good. Yeah, no longer build a figure or build a figure parts. There you go. I mean, if you missed him, here you go. Grab him. X Factor.
Tony, I did snag him. Do you think that with them bringing back Strong Guy, with the worst name ever, Guido, if they bring them back, do you think that we could see them redoing X Factor?
I think so.
Because the only reason I asked that is because this could be like a pin in the X Factor team. Like here, but some of those guys are so hard to get now.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's going to be one of those things where like, all right, is it Dumbo Bendy Wire? I don't think so. I don't think it's Bendy Wire. I love that barbell because that's one of his famous, poses where he's holding the freaking dumbbell over his head.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, yes, it's literally like having like Wolverine's maybe like knives out of hand guy, right? Like that's Stronger, like the worst name ever. Like Cyclops is like laser beam guy, right? It's just like that's just a bad name. But I love the fact that they are giving us this. I know that they changed up a little bit from the Build-A-Figure, if I'm not mistaken, Tony.
Yeah. Man, I'm not sure. I'm totally not sure, but it's just I have no idea.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where I'm like I'm actually very happy in the fact that we are getting this character.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, Todd, you might be right because there's that, but then here's him on on the floor and it's not as bendy. I think maybe it is Bendy Wire.
Yeah.
Which actually would be fantastic. We need I think it is Bendy. He's in the box. Yeah. We need a what's her name? Cheney. She was the intergalactic pop star that he was her
bodyguard.
Bodyguard. Yeah. Are you getting him? Did you get him?
No. I'm passing on him.
You are? Okay.
I don't need an X Factor. I got my solid X-Men, blue and gold teams, and I'm good.
Yeah, I'm getting him only because I hope, because I do have almost all of X Factor. I just need Richter and Domino, and Shatterstar. I need those three.
Was Richter a single release?
No, they did that bullshit 3-pack.
Yep.
They did that bullshit. It was Richter, Domino, and Cannonball with legs, which I don't understand why they didn't do that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know. Which sucks. Which sucks because that Richter, that redesign actually came out of Executioner Song, which I loved all those redesigns. I won't lie, I need that Cannonball redesign. I need that redesign. They haven't given us that one yet.
Nope.
No, I'm gonna get him on the hopes that They're re-releasing X Factor.
With this one, I think they will. You'll
Yeah.
see. I think you'll probably see Richter a single card. The rest of them on single cards. I think so.
Yeah. Exactly.
They'll make money. I mean, they'll do it. They'll sell.
Oh, they'll do it. Yeah. They already got the molds. Yeah. So
Everybody that wants their teams. The teams is what's hot. They finally. Is Farrell out, or has she been coming out?
She comes out later this year.
There you go.
And that completes X-Force. I think she's the missing piece for X-Force.
Right.
And I think they've released the Extra Strong guy. It'll be they did Havoc. They did Polaris in the 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
They have a multiple man.
Counterstar.
I think technically, if you want to go old school X Factor with this team, you need a Wolfsbane and you need a random.
Yeah.
Which is literally just freaking Bushwhacker, but with a different head.
Paint job. That's it. Paint job, head sculpt. There you go.
Exactly. So they did a 90s outfit Havoc. They did that Havoc, but it was a 2-pack with that 90s Polaris, which was great, but it was a goddamn 2-pack.
Yep, I got that one long time ago.
Yeah, I just need to find them at cons and just get them because people have them open and just $20 per figure. I just need to go and finish off, just get my X Factor done. But and then as Moody has appeared, this is the surprise. Everyone saw it coming. All Maximum Deadpool. It's cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the Deadpool. I like the guns it comes with, and it comes with dupe. But I'm passing because I got that Deadpool 2-pack with Bob, the Hydra agent, and that's a perfect Deadpool. So
yeah, I got the Juggernaut wave, Deadpool. Who this is? This is his costume design.
I had that one. Did I flip it a long time ago? I don't know, but yeah, I had that one for a while. I had that Build-A-Figure.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with him, but I mean, he's going to be more articulated. I mean, they just designed him a little bit better than the last one, so you can get his knees way up towards his chest for kicks and everything, and put a bunch of freaking hands in there with him. And I mean, if you didn't get the last one, this is your end all be all Deadpool. But this is the more tactical looking Deadpool. I like the more, remember when he first showed up in was it X Factor?
X-Force.
It was X-Force, yeah. I like him there with the just red and dark blue or red and black.
Red and black.
And he had he didn't have the boots like this. He had I don't know if you want to say he's more ninja assassin looking like.
Yeah, so when he came out in X-Force, it was Nicaea and Rob Liefeld, and Liefeld drew him his legs were 7 feet long and his
was nasty.
2 feet.
I do. Especially when I do my squats. My leg work.
Yeah. But I mean, I do like this, but Eworthy said about the 2-pack for me. I mean, they put in the Ninja Turtle weapons this that has a bazooka. That's got
right. That's what made it a convention exclusive. Was all those fun weapons, not just having Hydra Bob, but having the weapons.
The bazooka with a punching glove, with a boxing glove at the end of it.
And also, Jeff is right. It was New Mutants. I have seen. I don't know. It was New Mutants.
It was New Mutants with Gideon. With Gideon. Yeah.
This is based. We have the retro carded one that's similar to this that was re-released through Big Bad Toy Store. Do you remember that? A year ago, a re-release that came out years back. So, but pinless, updated tooling, new ab crunch. That's kind of what the whole point of Maximum is making, like KJ says, making import figures, but not quite at an import price. Even $50 is still, that's why it's $50 because imports are still more than that, most of them. But so they try to fluff it with accessories. I don't know how I feel about this. I pre-ordered it just in case, but I think I agree $35, $39.99. I don't think it's worth $50, but I still want it.
I can skip him. I got the Maximum Spider-Man just because I wanted to paint him. I wanted to paint him a lighter blue. I showed it on Circle of Jerks yesterday, and he came out really, really good just with an acrylic paint marker. But they'll probably, I don't, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they'll give us a lighter blue Maximum Spider-Man too. So watch.
I mean,
they will.
And they'll give us another Deadpool with Avengers Doomsday coming. We'll get another Doomsday. We'll get another Spider-Man. Ultimate Spider-Man in the comic book right now is killing it. So I know Hasbro is working on something. I mean, but this looks great. I love Dupe, but it's not
Dupe.
it's not enough to spend $50.
Right. No, it's like a callback to remember Toy Biz? The Toy Biz Deadpool had Dupe. I had Dupe with it. I still have them.
That's right. Okay.
It has the better sculpt too. This one is
but
nasty.
it comes with a burrito.
Chimichanga.
I
I'm
know.
gonna make fucking chimichangas.
Get it right, puto.
Right here.
Que madre.
Looks like a burrito.
It does.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Quote burrito.
Thank you, E-Worthy. You're awesome.
Travis like, don't shoot me. Don't.
I live in LA. I know what a chimichanga and a burrito is.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It looks great. It looks great, but it's not $50 great.
No, hell no. The AK looks cool, and they give him Walgreens Punisher's M60, but I ain't mad at that. Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm the one guy who can't cry about whatever weapons they give him. I have all the weapons in the goddamn world.
I don't know if it was Baldy or Punk on Circle of Jerks. You can tell me was in yesterday, but one of them said it should include no reuse, and then it should set up for future reuse for regular. Like when you get a Maximum figure, it should be all new for that price point. And then after, you can reuse that stuff in the Maximum line in your regular Legends line. And I agree with that
That was cool. Yeah, I can't remember who said that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah,
like we got the reused legs for Incredible Hulk or whatever, right? So it's like, why everything should be new? There should be no reuse in a Maximum line.
Yeah, the Maximum Hulk is the Hulk I have. Except he's got the rubber chest. That's about it. And new head sculpts. That's it.
Yeah.
It's Punk's favorite toy, but he never had a Hulk toy.
Yeah.
So I get it. You know what I mean? So
I think that's what they're trying to aim for too.
Yeah, that's
like,
fine. Yeah.
Hey, this is the only Spider-Man you need. This is the only Hulk you need. This is the only Deadpool you need.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're even going after diehard Marvel Legends with people at this point, except for the ones that are all in, right? If you're all in, you buy like 17 Spider-Man.
Completionist and
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I do want that Hulk.
Yeah. Just be careful with him.
Yeah. That's the only thing that I've seen already kind of tearing and stuff like that. Like oh,
dude, he's fallen off the top of my bookcase like 4 times, and he's a rock, dude.
He's tough. He should be tough. Yeah.
Nothing.
I'm happy with mine. I got with the anniversary one. Yeah, he's perfect.
Cool. All right, moving on to the next one, and we got a 2-pack X-Men. Bobby, you doing any of this X-Men 97 2-pack stuff?
Right now, no. If I come across it on a sale or clearance, 100%. My drawback on this is that I already have that Cyclops, and I already have that Marvel girl, right? So it's I don't need this. Is it a want? Yeah, maybe later on down the line. Was it that Storm Thunderbird 2-pack? I got $15, right? That's funny. But I do like this. I do like that they're finally giving Cyclops the laser blast, optic blast.
Yeah, nice.
I like the fact that
blast effect is what they're trying to sell.
That's wicked right there. That's cool.
And I like the fact that literally that optic blast is just the same one that came with X Factor. It's reuse. Great. Don't give a shit. It was awesome. This looks great. Cyclops is my favorite X-Man, so this might be a get later on, but right now I'm gonna pass.
Not that I'm looking, but damn, he's really rocking a Speedo there. That banana hammock is right
Oh yeah, no, you can't
right
even like
front and center.
yeah, like
Spec said it. Spec was looking too.
yeah, you and Spec are like checking out the banana hammock.
Can you make shorts? Can you make briefs? Why do we need tidy white?
Cyclops is like, hey. You wanna know how I bagged the baddest woman in the universe?
3 of them.
Boom.
Yeah. Madeline, Dean, Emma. He's like him and Peter Parker going back and forth.
Look, Scott, Peter, and Matt Murdock.
Yes, they are the pimps of the Marvel.
And Logan. It's
And Logan.
Yeah.
We're gonna have an episode of the pimps, the guys who get all the women in Marvel Comics.
Exactly.
Because it ain't the villains.
That's basically X-Men 97 in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Right.
September 3rd, this comes out, so pretty soon. Hasbro Pulse exclusive. You know the deal. Premium members have that hour period starting at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific time on September 3rd. Dan Yoon gave us the information for that. Next up, the news. Sentinel 97 delayed. So I'm kind of conflicted because I showed you guys. I made this room for a Sentinel 97 right in my Marvel Legends bookcase. But then again, it would have shipped while I'm probably on the road doing work. And that's a big box to sit on your pack.
Okay, good. Good.
So right
Careful.
before Christmas, I will be home. And this is better timing getting delivered around Christmas, although it could lead to delays getting things delivered around Christmas. But I like the idea. I don't mind this delay now. I kind of like it because too much stuff's coming out right now, right? With G.I. Joe, like our wallets got hammered with all those pre-orders.
Yeah, I like the fact that this gives me time to kind of pay down my credit card a bit before it ships. I'm glad I only got one. But seeing them at Comic-Con, I was like, ooh, should I get another one? No.
There's no room for more than one.
No, there's not. These things are huge. I do love it. It's great. And I have like
so happy with the delay then? You're happy with the delay?
I am.
I'm cool with it.
Mind the delay, right?
It's one of those times where I was like, okay, it's coming out in September. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. Oh, it got pushed back. Oh, finally, something works in my favor, right?
Right.
It's like we moved it up. Bitch, you have not moved it up. You put that back to where it was supposed to come out. You put it back to where it was supposed to come out.
It's more time to appreciate the greatness that is Dragon Man. I mean,
Jeez. You and Larry got that thing. That thing is crazy.
It's so good. Definitely my Marvel Legend of the year so far. I mean, haven't reviewed it or really dug into it, but this thing is amazing.
He's chiefly a Fantastic Four villain or character, right?
Yeah, he becomes the babysitter at the Future Foundation.
That's right.
Villain turn, heel turn good.
Yes.
Heel turn butler, maid, kitchen.
Yeah. But no, and look, and the other thing was, because so many goddamn Joes are coming out like August, September. Christ.
Man. I hear the mask bundle is coming later, and I'm like, that thing's gonna hit. Please, just everything else can wait. Hold on a second.
Right. Which one?
The mask bundle.
Oh, the mask bundle. I thought you were like mass device bundle.
No, the mask, the mask.
When did that come out, Tony?
It's supposed to. It said they said third quarter, and then I saw some fourth quarter. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just waiting for it to it's almost, a little bit before September or within September. I think it's coming, but we'll see. I can hold on.
I was going to, and I forget what happened. Something happened where I couldn't interview the guys at Loyal Subjects, which sucked at Comic-Con. But I did.
I tried.
No. I know you did. Something happened where I couldn't make it, but
you flew in later. That's why I think.
It was Saturday morning and it conflicted with something else, but I did talk to actually, and also I did go, but then I couldn't find the fucking thing because it was hidden. Like literally, the one time I found
the booth was hard to find.
very hard to find. Like the one time I found Loyal Subjects, and I took pictures of it. It's on the GHG Instagram. KJ and I were literally just walking around the floor after the McFarlane panel, and I go, "Oh shit, Loyal Subjects! Oh shit, Mask! Oh damn, I might want to pre-order this." Right? I didn't because I spent a lot of money at Comic-Con. But the one guy that was there, he was I forget his name. I wish I knew his name. Really great guy. And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "I love what they did with Mask. I love the fact that the boxes are like the old school." He goes, "Yeah, he goes, oh yeah, I did that." I was talking to the guy who did like the art for the box, and he was like, "Yeah, I went as hard as I could to make it look like the original boxes." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He goes, "We added a little bit more just to make it just kind of update it, but we went as close to the original packaging as possible." So there you go, Loyal Subjects. But it looked, dude, I will say this, Todd, the goddamn lines for the because I was gonna buy my wife a Labubu, right? Because she's got two. They're
Good luck with that.
They're hideous, horrible things, right? Hers are like $25, right? She got hers, right, at Comic Con they're like 65 cents. I'm like, my wife will kill me if I spend that much money on her. I told them, like, "Kenny, do you want this?" She goes, "How much is it? 25, 30? I go, 60. She goes, no.
Got you.
I got
Speaking of masks, we have Iron Man, Extremis, and Marvel's Mandarin. People are not thrilled, but it is accurate to the comic book.
Yeah, the Avigrenad Extremist run.
Yeah.
It's just not the Mandarin people want, right, Tony? You're an old school Marvel guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a suited guy, and I understand the comic version and all that. That's all I'm about instead of MCU, but that's what he was he's coming straight out of the comic. I mean, you don't want him, you don't want him. What's the other head? Is the other head got white hair? That looks atrocious, but whatever.
Yeah, the white hair is, if I remember correctly, I think the white hair is when he uses his power, he ages himself, I believe.
That's stuff I would never use my power.
Right? I'm keeping myself young. I have this Iron Man suit, but I love the fact that the head sculpt comes with like the arm, like the head wrap almost, right? I like the fact that it comes with it.
Yeah.
Oh, the head wrap. Okay. You like that or you don't like it?
I like that.
Okay, that's different. We have Tony Stark with hair. We have him with a goatee. We have him already. I mean, if you've been collecting Marvel Legends for a while, you have a damn good Tony Stark head sculpt somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be different.
I just like the fact that it actually shows Tony, like when he pulls off the head, the mask, he should have like some covering, like an astronaut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you imagine if he didn't have? Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Like the one that came with the Hulkbuster. He has the protective.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The hands are forged into the rings, so some people were confused about that. We'll get to that later. But yeah, for the Mandarin, like what's up with his hands? And I guess that's why, because they're just forged into the rings. That's Bobby, you know Extremis, right?
I know from the Iron Man side. I don't remember them. I read some of Extremis, but yeah, I don't remember the Mandarin in this run. I don't. This is the run I believe where we got he was in Ironheart. Ironmonger's son. I loved Ironheart. I thought Ironheart was a.
Did you really?
Oh yeah. The first 3 episodes were kind of slow, but once you get to the magic part, it kicks off.
Good. Yeah.
But Ironmonger's son was from this line.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, from this run.
So I don't know. I didn't pre-order it.
Thank you, Airborne.
I think it's a solid set. I don't know. It's $50. Amazon exclusive, not sold out. I remember it got posted late, so it said like not available, and people were like, "What the hell?" And then I think it'll be a Prime Day sale. Go ahead.
I will say this. And Tony made a great point. If you've been collecting Iron Man, you've got this somewhere in your collection. But if you haven't been collecting Iron Man, this is a great jumping on point.
Extremis.
Yes,
It's not bad.
Another one for the Hall of Armor. Go for it.
exactly.
Mhm.
You don't have it.
And then this news came this morning. We got. Are you familiar with this comic, Bobby?
Spider-Woman, I do. Okay, so I do know the Spider-Woman comic. Yeah, and I do know that the cover artist Peach Momoko, who's a huge cover artist right now. Also last year at New York Comic Con, her cover with Spawn actually created a fight on the New York Comic Con floor.
Oh my
What?
goodness, you kidding?
Two people got thrown out because punches were actually thrown because. Okay, so quick story time. It was funny. Saturday morning, Derek and I get in line for the Ghost Machine people. Right, they're doing like Red Code and Geiger and all them people, all that. And they're like, okay, everyone, this is the line. And we're like, yeah, we get it. He goes, no. This is the line. This is the line. Do not move from this line. And we're like, okay, that's fine. I'm like, oh, I know what happened. The day before, McFarlane and Peach Momoko did a New York Comic Con exclusive. Well, a line had started, but it wasn't the official line. So when McFarlane said, okay, here's the real line, everyone ran to it, and everyone who'd been in the original line said, no, we've been waiting for 3 hours for this. Like, sorry.
Oh,
Well, they all rushed it. A woman got pushed. Her husband shoved back. The guy turned around. Cops came.
Clock the
It is New
husband.
York. It is New York.
It is New York, right? But look,
Yeah.
look. And this is the thing. Like at the cons, like when we talk about how figures go like that, comics. If you are looking for a certain comic, those things will go quickly. Spider-Woman, I haven't been reading Spider-Woman, but I do. It's Jessica Drew. I mean,
It is Jessica. Is it
Yeah.
Jessica?
It's
Oh,
Jessica.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
It is, but I wanted to point out the reason we have Polaris there is that this head sculpt is the same one. They used basically the Polaris head sculpt.
Is it?
If you, yep.
A little
I
bit.
mean that at least like not specifically, but it's similar hair and everything.
That's
So
fine.
that's the closest we're gonna get for a picture. Thank you, angry collectors, because it's blurry. I mean, it's just
Oh yeah.
this is part of Marvel Unlimited Annual Plus membership, and it's $100 a year. And they always sneak in an exclusive. I think Moon Knight was there. Who else was there? There was like a version of Spider-Man. Like it's always a crate. Wasn't it like a black outfitted version of Moon Knight or something? What was
A
the
black
I
and
don't know.
white one. Yeah, a black and white one.
Well, yeah, there was I don't know if it was
Huge
that one
fan.
because we got it a retail, but and then there was another version of Spider-Man last year that was like a white version with black line. It's just there's always
the
like a
Future Foundation
very
version?
obscure figure.
The Future
Spider-Man?
Foundation one?
Yeah, I have to look it up. Maybe someone in the comments. I know Classic Daredevil was definitely 3 years ago, 2
Yeah.
years ago. Yep.
Uh,
They had Night Spider. That's it.
Night
That's
Spider.
it. I think it's Night Spider.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to look him up.
Yeah,
Shit.
same.
Yeah, it's always an obscure thing because they want people to pay $100 for this membership. So they put like a really obscure figure that's not going to be part of the Legends line.
Yeah. Why
They
would
always
you?
do it.
Why would you pick this for if you want membership and renew? I don't know. That's weird. But
Man,
yeah,
thank God Skybound doesn't do this with Classic. I
Right,
just
right,
gave
right.
an
Oh, God.
idea. Imagine that. Having to
No,
join a
thank-
$100 membership for Skybound, and then you get it to get in. I guess the figure would flip. It's GI Joe, so I guess
Right.
it'd be worth it.
Oh,
But
but
still,
Spec,
man.
Spec is right. Spec is right. I don't see any ab articulation on this buck. And if she's
It's a
Jessica
throwaway.
Drew, she needs to be on that damn awesome Black Widow buck. But
100%.
whatever, I'm passing on this.
Yep.
Even though I love Jessica, but I like her in her classic red and blue.
That's right. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, that was a bunch of Marvel Legends stuff this week in Fan Expo Canada. I didn't even know that was a thing, or at least this week. And I guess how these conventions are working, I talked about it with Toy Gaines and Terry and Mark Weber, was that Hasbro's not going to send all their brands to all of them. They're splitting up. And I don't know if it's split up between Disney and Transformers and G.I. I don't know how they're doing it, but I know G.I. Joe's doing like MCM, Luca, and New York. And then Fan Expo was Star Wars and Marvel. So maybe Disney products for Hasbro are split. I'm not 100% sure on that. but it seems like certain conventions are getting certain brands from Hasbro, and Fan Expo Canada had all these Marvel Legends like reveals. Like we showed you the picture. Strong Guy was there.
Yeah.
Maximum Deadpool and Mysterio. So that was cool to give us a little bit of Marvel news. It kind of been a while since Comic-Con. So yeah. All right. Jersey Devil. What did you guys have to say about this, Tony? I had you guys on while I was prepping, but I know they were talking about devil worshiping and all that stuff.
Oh my God, yeah, that shit was crazy. I never heard of this thing, but it's on the East Coast, type of
Yeah, New Jersey. It's the Jersey Devil.
American folklore. I never heard about this thing, but
Really?
I looked it up. I looked it up, and it was freaking. That's what freaking scary movies are made of, dude. It's it's nasty. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Jersey version of a chupacabra, just gigantic.
Yeah. Shout out to Genghis, bro. We actually started at 4 p.m. Pacific time today.
What up, KJ?
I had 3 guests from the East Coast, and they had time crunches, and we had to get it in. So this is actually the end of our show. We're not there yet, but this
Look
is
at
where
that
towards
thing.
the end. Look at this.
They start playing Motley Crue. Shout out the devil. Let's do it.
Thing is insane, man. I told the guys yesterday. I mean, if they could ever make, I mean, I know Figure Obscura does all the folklore and all that crazy weird shit, but if they could do a Darkness from Legend, dude, this is Four Horsemen are the ones that do it. Holy crap!
I pre-ordered it because
Of course you did.
No. So I didn't get the last one, the elephant, and he was up. But you know what sucks about the Store Horseman site? In addition to the expensive shipping, right? If you pre-order something and you order something that's in stock, it's 2 separate orders. You can't combine it. So I was gonna get, I forget the name. Toy Optics, help me out. What's the name of the elephant dude that was released like 2 months ago? It's like
Ganesh?
Dinky or
Ganesh?
huh?
Ganesh?
Ganesh, yes. So I had skipped on that one, and I thought it was cool. I just was like saving money, whatever. I was like, I'll get it down the line, and it was for. So I'm like, all right, if I'm going to pre-order this and pay shipping, I might as well get that one. And it was going to charge me 2 separate shippings. One because one's in stock, one's not. It makes sense logically, but as a customer, that really sucks. You know what
Ganesha.
I mean? It isn't expensive, but then I think it was more than 10. Then you got to pay it twice. I don't know. So
Let's stick those wings on Nemesis Immortal. Nemesis Enforcement.
So anyway, I'm missing one of the Figure Obscura. I do collect Figure Obscura. So, but they made it a limited pre-order. It's sold out. There's nothing. You can't even get pins for this thing. It's gone from the site.
Oh wow.
Well, I think because Ganesha didn't sell out. So they were like, all right, let's get back into that Mezco hype beast mode and let's limit these things and tell people they're limited. So that way all the scalpers get on the train. You know how that goes.
They all rush. Yep.
Smart business.
Jersey Devil. Watch out, Baldy. Coming after you.
This was not available at BBTS. This was only Store Horseman only.
Store Horseman.
Yep. But yeah, what a crazy looking sculpt. It's like a buffalo head, right?
Yeah. And he does not skip doing his core at the gym. He's got a 10-pack.
I kind of want to see an animated like the Jersey Devil going to like Planet Fitness. Hey guys, hey Devil, just like doing like pull ups. Like
don't do any noises; they'll kick you out.
Exactly.
Right.
Hey,
we got a great.
Last time. Sorry.
We got a great question from a new subscriber, Black Genghis. He says, "Is this hype beast jazz going?" He put jazz in capital letters like Utah. Is the hype beast jazz going away, or does collecting need the hype still? I think it needs the hype sometimes because people are being pickier with their wallets, and these companies know it. And the thing is, we talk about our collections, and I think you guys were talking about that too. Is like you have to make limited choices. We're at maximum capacity on our shelves. Everybody that does this show, even our guests, you saw Terry and Toy Gaines' background too, man. Like we have so much stuff now accumulated over the COVID years that if you're not hyping this up and it's limited and it's not part of the main lines we collect, we might pass on it. So they're like, all right, we're gonna make it limited, and I think that's what Mezco and Four Horsemen and these smaller. I mean, even Operation Monster Force stuff. We're gonna talk about that next. That stuff sold. Season 1 sold out. They just had to roll out season 1 again. People are finally getting season 1. The smaller companies are making limited stock.
Yeah, come get it, or it's gonna be gone.
We got some real devil shit on a toy kind of mood tonight.
Shout out the
I already
devil.
scared Baldy half to death.
Well, he's from Jersey. He should be fine. He learned about this in school.
Yeah, his grandma taught him.
So I gotta say though, it was hyped, but the price was nice because usually these obscura figures can be like 80, 90 bucks. I think this was 50 or 60. So I didn't hate that price from an independent toy company. I think it's pretty good.
That thing is evil.
That thing. Look,
All the figure obscuras are pretty crazy.
We already have Annabelle in the house. Okay, I don't need another one, but no, because I got Ashley. It was like I went to Target randomly like a few years ago, and they had like Annabelle. I'm like, oh, I'll get that for her because it's creepy. Oh, it's creepy as hell, dude. And she had it right by the TV. Like boom, like
so it's all lit up from behind.
She has it. She has it on her like she has like a little shelf with like all these little like things I've gotten her. Like it's like a memory shelf, and it's right smack dab in there. Like she,
Jersey Mike's mascot. I don't want no subs now.
Yeah. Dave says 65, but I feel like some of these figures are not. But he doesn't come with a lot compared to a lot of those.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got 2 sets of giant wings, but no soft goods, not a lot of accessories. So I mean, I don't know. I think if they tried charging 90 for this, then there'd be a problem. But I'm okay with it. I didn't have a problem with the price. Cool. One more section to go. Yeah. All right. Operation Monster Force. Did you catch the video? Anybody? Or Robo's video?
I'm gonna watch it today. I'm at work, so I'm gonna watch it today.
Yeah, no, big love to Robo. Don't know. He covered like 7 of these figures or 6 of them or something like that. And so yeah, season 0, season 2 are rolling out. When I was at Comic-Con, they asked me, I was like, the military stuff, guys. We're Joe. So season 0 is mostly all military infused. So shout out to Big Bad and Fresh Monkey for hooking your boy up with some samples. And I was playing with these things for like a full 8-hour day yesterday. They're so much fun.
I need the general.
Right. So the options being a Joe infused channel, not Joe Colton, sorry, General Flag. Tony, what do you know about him?
General Flag. Yep. He got killed by Major Blood.
You didn't know
in a comic. Yeah, Major Blood killed him, shot him in the comic. Doc couldn't do anything for him. It's crazy. But yeah, General Flag is awesome. He'd be great to go in my OG 13/14 shelf.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I need this.
This is the face you're gonna choose then for the general,
Yeah,
or are you gonna buy more than one?
Yeah, for Flag. Well, he comes Joe Colton, Flag, and then the Carl Weathers looking one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Man, I don't know. But then you can make the jugglers if you get a few of them. So for now, I'll just get him for Flag. Yeah.
Thank you. Hi, it's me. Appreciate it. We all need generals, Genghis says.
Yes.
General Flag was one of the 4 fatalities in issue 19.
That's right, Ryan.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted for people that didn't know Joe Colton, he's just the original G.I. Joe, the very first G.I. Joe toy. And we saw him as Bruce Willis.
Yes.
He couldn't grow his facial hair for this. I guess not. So
No.
do you remember this character from the movie?
Yeah,
Retaliation was not a terrible movie, but
it wasn't a bad movie.
Retaliation?
Yeah,
Colton.
it
Joe
wasn't
Colton.
bad.
Yeah, because that's the one I remember. That was the scene where Scarlet and Rock was playing with Heavy Duty.
Lady J, you mean?
Was it Lady J?
It was Lady J, yeah. What's her face? Pilecki?
Yeah.
Adriana
okay. That's right.
Adriana Pilecki, she was Lady J, yeah.
That's right.
Flint was there. And this is when Colton had that awesome house and kitchen with all the freaking weapons you could want.
Yep. Tony's like, I want that kitchen.
I want the kitchen.
Mhm.
I should make a diorama with that, with all the goddamn weapons I have.
You should.
I need like a Barbie house or something.
Actually, if you can find, oh man, talk to Steve about it, because Steve redid made a Barbie house into the X Mansion.
Oh wow.
Yeah, talk to him about that, man.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Bruce. Yeah, I forgot Bruce Willis was Colton.
He's Colton.
Mark Bunkin has given me some shit on text message. So Ed, we're gonna have I should say this week. We're gonna have Fresh Monkey on pretty soon, and we'll have Mark from Gridiron on pretty soon.
Nice.
I don't know when it's gonna be next week. I'm on doing a job, but the week after, it's funny because I was like, Bill, do you want to be on the show 9/10? He goes, that's my birthday. I'm like, maybe not then. But he's like, oh, think about it. I'm like, dude, it's your birthday. Don't worry about it. But I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'd be good to have them on. And then of course, Bobby Thunderbolt Ross.
Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, dude. The pictures you did were great. That does look like Thunderbolt Ross, straight out of the comic books. I love it. It looks. I didn't think I needed the journal, but now I'm like, oh, well, now I might need to get him because he goes with two of my lines. All right, fine. I think
have him, Bobby, in Marvel Legends.
No, I don't think so. Hold on, y'all keep talking and check. Let's see.
Marvel Legends.
Is that why they made this?
No, we have the Red Hulk, but that's about it.
Right, but I mean,
no, we do not have a Thunderbolt Ross. We do not have a Thunderbolt Ross.
That's crazy.
Wow, that's a glaring hole.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, She-Hulk's dad, right? I mean, not She-Hulk. Betsy Ross. Sorry, not She-Hulk.
Yeah, but
everyone wants a Barbie house in the chat.
No, I'm like, I could turn that into like the expansion. I could do that.
How many pony parties did you get?
That's just two.
Oh, okay.
Behind me, right there. See it up there?
No, I'm on the phone, so I can't hide how much time we got. It's 3 hours and 11 minutes. I can't hide that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Covering about.
Oh, it covers. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got you. But
yeah,
I mean,
phone.
But they're doing a great. Wouldn't you say they're doing a great job filling in like the extra heads?
Oh,
like
100%.
Getting a Joe Colton, General Flag, and Thunderbolt Ross. Oh, what was that, Bobby? Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah. Oh no, you were saying 100%. Yeah.
No, it's 100% because I mean it's filling in a spot that maybe some collectors would be like, man, I wish Marvel would do that. Marvel's like, we don't really, do we need a Thunderbolt Ross? Like, yes, we do. And
they'll say it won't sell. That's
exactly. And now they're doing it. And now we got Carl Weathers, and we've got Thunderbolt Ross, we've got Flag, and it's just it's like, oh, you only want one figure? Like, no, we'll buy 4. Never mind, right? Because you need 2 of these at least. You need 2 of these for Colton and Flag. There you go. Yeah,
that General gets a lot ahead.
a lot.
The Donner Party fig should have included a Quinn head. Oh,
that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be in a heads pack because they come out with head packs too. I had to do this shot because I mean we got a celebrity general and I had to get all the celebrities in there. Chris Pratt.
Yeah, terminal list in there, and which one did Hemsworth star in? Extraction.
Tyler Rake, and James Reese was Chris Pratt, and then I don't know, Andrew Myers, Footloose, Pedro Pascal. That was not obvious, but you got
Pedro. He was in a film. He did stuff like this with Oscar Isaac. I can't think of the name of it right now.
Who did?
Narcos.
No. Well, he was in Narcos, but no. Pedro Pascal did a movie with Oscar Isaac.
Oh, Triple Frontier. Frontier.
Thank you.
That's a badass movie.
I need to watch that.
Extraction 3, Operation Dragonfire.
Extraction 3, Operation Action Jackson.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, Dark Wolf's up. I'm in it. I didn't know that. It's
Nice.
it's on Amazon.
Nice.
Dude,
Oh, you're
look
in
for
that
me.
one. You're in that one.
Look
Right on.
for me. I'm in the platoon with Chris Pratt. Hopefully they
Nice.
don't get this shit out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we
Oh
filmed that.
man, it's on the. I hope it better not be on the cutting room floor, bro.
Nah, I mean, that was a lot of screen time in a week. We'll see.
Yeah.
So then I was like, remember the movie The Five Bloods? Spike Lee?
Yes.
All the
Yes.
old ass military dudes. I was like,
Yeah.
this is perfect for that.
That shit was
Van
sad.
Halen.
That was a sad movie in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
That's
looking
another
at
one.
looking at Carl Weathers as Stalker, I was like, that's Five Bloods right there.
OG.
That's
OG
great.
soccer hardcore.
Yeah, so the gang's all here.
There is no tomorrow.
And then yeah, we already talked. We showed this off and talked
Yeah,
about
we
it
won.
with Mark. But what do you think of the that kind of that Cobra, that zombie Viper Cobra? You know, Cobra.
I like it. When you sent the pictures, I'm like, oh, this is really dope. They did a good
He has
job.
no idea
They
what's
did a good
behind
job
him.
with the
His
zombie.
buddy turned zombie. He's making a phone call to his lady. He's done.
No, I don't know who Cheryl is. I don't. No, I told you I don't know who Cheryl is. God damn it! I wish someone would just fucking kill me right now.
That's awesome. If you're 2 episodes deep and you haven't seen me, probably not in it because I think I was in the pilot, but we'll see.
Damn.
Talk about this, Tony. Talk about what you see with the Phantom Core compared to the Hasbro offerings.
Phantom Core, they're doing it right. Bill's doing it right with that stuff. I mean, it can hang toe to toe with these dudes, and a little bit better. I love how you could stash the magazines and the plate carrier and stuff. It's always a plus, and these things are badass. I haven't gotten any Monster Force figures yet, but I'm waiting on the special orders from Joe Fest. I think it's this one in the middle, ain't it?
So there's a deluxe version of this that comes with a Van Helsing head, and then it comes with almost like a Rambo type.
That's it. I think that's it.
Rambo
I got
type
2 of them.
sculpt because he's got the bandana.
I got 2 of them
It's a
coming.
Phantom
Yeah.
Core Deluxe. Okay, Phantom
Yeah.
Core Deluxe.
Yes.
So it's similar to this. This is just the retail version, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So at Joe Fest, I was in line and I got what do you call it? Yeah, 2 of them. Special orders. For when you got I had gotten the with the Invisible Man guy, that smoke colored looking
Lieutenant
dude.
Griffin.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Griffin figure 6-pack says the Cobra Trooper's on the phone complaining about a sandwich. Then the zombie shows up. Yeah. All right. Next up. Oh, dude, this is some of the best camo I've ever seen. Shout out to my guy Chris Scott. I don't know if you met him at Joe Fest, but he's with Grindhouse Toys. He
Yeah, I
did
met
the
him.
World War III O-ring. Yeah, I believe he did all the painting, the paint masters for this figure.
Oh, really? From Grindhouse? Yeah. He was there with the Mark II Toys was there with him.
Mark Gerwin.
What? Yeah, and then this is kick ass right here.
Dude, those 2 face sculpts on the right are the same for the same figure. And look, they came with an interchangeable. At first, I was like, why do they have an interchangeable neck? And then I realized why. The balaclava is colored that way.
Yeah.
Differently, but it matches the rest of the uniform, which is, in this picture, so crazy and thoughtful. And look how much detail. Holy shit.
Yeah, the skull balaclava is dope. Yeah. It is cool with the damn beret. It's badass.
Yep. Did you know that I didn't even know that was a thing till I got sent that Phantom Defense loadout. I had no idea. I got the 3 figures and I was like, Phantom Defense loadout? Did they just is this a secret? I didn't know Gridiron was doing this. This is his shield. This is his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That shield with the clear, you could see through the shield was like, mind blown.
That shit's crazy. Yeah.
I haven't been this thrilled with a loadout or like an accessory pack in years. Like I gave this a 5 in the review, spoiler, but go see it. This is the best part. Like the figures are great. This loadout from Gridiron is crazy. Here's more of it.
Yep. The nasty weapon I gave you, the Dreadnoks.
Yeah, that's like, what is it called? Like the one-man army or something like, right?
Yeah, with the saw. Yeah,
Yeah, because it has all the like the Saw Vipers. Oh no, that's Robo
and the
stuff. But
saw
they
viper has copied it and give.
yeah, you can have the three. Well, they did copy, but the blade is so much bigger on this one.
Oh yeah,
and
on this thing, yeah, hell yeah.
And then that ACH, the combat helmet is
Mhm.
crazy camo, got the air muffs and that mask that matches the office one, but with the leather brown. And the nods are different, like just the amount of color and weathering. You guys just, even if you don't want to hear me talk, just look through the review, scan through it, and look at this loadout. This is if you're watching this, you like military toys, like this was some of the best shit of the year. This loadout and this figure, this Phantom Core thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
I mean, Bobby, I want to get your opinion on these three because they're a little more out of the military range, but into the wackier range. What do you think?
Oh, they look great. I'm gonna say you could either go Agent Smith or like Agent K from Men in Black. Looks a little young Tommy Lee Jones-ish. Josh Brolin is right there.
Brolin.
Yeah. The figure in the middle looks. I'm not sure which one that is, but that looks straight out of fucking Hellboy.
Freaking wacky Hellboy, yeah, hell yeah.
That's straight up
Good.
like.
That's why I asked you. I didn't even think about any of this. Like
Yeah,
seriously, you're put like I'm like, okay, what is this? Because I was thinking Pulp Fiction at first on the
Some
left.
Hydra Hellboy shit.
but
No, I mean, Reservoir Dogs right there too.
Reservoir Dogs is what I meant, not Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
I mean that's Agent Mr. Orange right there, or like in Hellboy like that. You could literally make that Hitler's brain in a robot, and then you got I'm gonna assume Frankenstein on the far right.
Yeah, that's
Donner
100%. So it's Frankenstein with Quinn's body. Remember, because they said he's like a world traveler, almost not necessarily like Alaskan, but do you know about the Donner Party story?
No, I'm just looking at Beck put I ordered him in dinner party.
Oh yeah, he meant Donner.
He meant Donner Party, I know. I'm just fucking with him.
Dr. Cagalari it says Cagalara, but it's Cagalari, and then the Donner Party's on the right, and then the Black Watch agents on the left. That's the Operation Force names. But Bobby is giving me all the great inspiration because
the
we all
reference.
know that's the monster of Frankenstein on the right, but the ones in the middle on the left, I was like iffy on who they were.
Yeah. That's fine.
So the Donner Party was the Oregon Trail story, right?
No.
I think so. No?
No. Okay.
No, Donner Party is just
I learned about it, then forgot it because I did.
Yeah, it was.
I forgot.
I mean, it's just they got lost in the Rockies and had to have an interesting dinner
That's
where
nasty.
they ate themselves. Yes,
The Donner Party was at a dinner party of sorts. Yeah.
exactly. It was kind of a dinner party.
Yeah. All right. And then here's the selection of faces. So that's why I thought Pulp Fiction. See what I'm saying?
I mean,
Yeah.
You can also go.
It's Dolph Lundgren in the middle, no?
You guys, Dolph Lundgren. Remember that or 2000s Blade TV show? That's what I'm seeing right there. But
Oh, Fredro Starr.
Fredro, no, it's not Fredro Starr. It's Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers, yeah.
Sticky Fingers. Sticky Fingers. That's what I call my daughter. Sticky Fingers.
I like this. They took a shortcut that wasn't so short. I mean, some of them it was short for them.
Cannibalism.
I like those alien looking faces too.
The one on the left, if you painted it somewhat differently, you could kind of make a creepy Nightcrawler. But yeah,
Ugh, yeah.
What are we seeing, chat? What are we seeing with these faces? Because that's what I was so curious about.
I like this one. What the fuck am I looking at?
Rotate John.
You're looking at heads.
Taking the heads. You can get those bodies, and there's always some third-party guy selling,
100%.
head sculpts of, all the Reservoir Dogs. Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Caligari, like the full film in Canada.
Oh, the Canada Caligari. Thank you, Paul.
Cool. Max Headroom.
Yeah, that's good.
Stuck in the middle with you.
That's it. That's all I got, guys. 3.5 hours of a toy kind of mood. Bobby, anything else? You got anything going on with Geeks Have Game this week? What's up?
We're going to.
We're
Hopefully.
going to. I need to talk to Tony later so I can get his list in. I don't know when we're going live. I don't know if we're. I don't. This work has been crazy because we're now doing press releases. So, we will do a show. Don't worry, Tony. It'll be this week. I just don't know if it's gonna be live or recorded. Don't know yet. But we'll find. Everyone will find out tomorrow. Okay, everyone will find out tomorrow.
GHG baby.
But yeah, some cool shows coming down the pipeline. And then if you go to GHG, you can see also other press releases and new stuff coming out. And one of the cool things that I did get privy to, thanks to Marvel, is that we're doing the Age of Apocalypse again, and Joe Mad is coming back to do the covers for Age of Apocalypse.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's big.
I miss Joe Mad so much. I love his X-Men. So yes. So we'll figure that out.
I keep on fucking it up. Joe Madeira, Madeira.
Yeah, I just say
Joe Mad.
Joe Mad. Ed McGuinness, two of my favorite artists. So
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Joe Mad did that crazy feral ass Wolverine, remember?
Yes, he did. So good.
Yeah. Before I get to a couple comments, I want to give a plug here to Bobby. Your Geeks Have Game show last week.
Oh.
You're giving me
Last week.
the show last week, best movies of the year so far. Phenomenal show with
Oh, thanks, man. I
Toy
appreciate that.
Beck and Jason the X. Had a lot of fun with that. Before I think I was packing for my work trip or whatever I was.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Gotta catch
It was
that
dope,
replay.
dude. And you guys, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed to Geeks Have Game, go there now. It's a pop culture, comics, movies, TV stuff that we want to talk about in the show, but it's gonna be talked about on Geeks Have Game, and
Yes.
nobody hosts it better than
Well, let them
Bobby.
know what we were gonna do, Bobby. Just the title. I don't think they know anything.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, so Tony and I are gonna sit down and talk about our favorite runs in comic books. We're Canadian now.
About.
We're
We're gonna talk about
We're gonna talk about our favorite runs in comic books.
comic book runs, comic book stories.
Like, and I know I can guarantee I know what Tony's are gonna be. I would.
Yeah, don't spoil it here. Don't spoil it here. Talk
I'm
about
not
it.
spoiling. But man,
We're gonna talk. We're gonna talk after this. I want to know.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. But I know, people will be able to guess one of my favorite lines because I'm wearing the shirt, or favorite runs. But
I know some of yours already. I know.
Oh, no one knows my favorite runs. My runs.
Yeah.
My runs are weird.
Are they?
Oh yeah. Gotta have fun with that shit. But yeah, I'll Tony, I'll talk to you. See when you're free Friday afternoon.
All right.
And then we can plan around that. And then yeah. I know, like last week, you're like, I'm gonna get you my list. Haven't gotten a list yet, Tony. Where the fuck's my list, man?
Oh, I got it already. It's already in my notes. I got a little bit more than 10 so far.
Okay. Nice. Let's do it. Bring it.
All right. I want to get into a couple comments before we head out because Blonde is Wesker. So yeah,
yes,
all those
that's
people
Wesker all day.
Begging June to do Resident Evil. You'll have it right. Your Resident Evil character and Wesker.
Ooh.
You got all those zombies, so it makes sense. Good
Yep.
shout right there. Excellent shout. Great show tonight. So what's funny is we have a great show tonight, and then we have this guy who goes, "What's up?" Oh, you'll have
What up, Jazz?
turn it back 3.5 hours. Chaz, what up, man? Yeah, we didn't go. We went at 4 p.m. Pacific time today. We went live at 7 p.m. Eastern today, not 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Pacific. Hopefully,
Because you had James and Terry, and they're East Coast dudes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we had 3 East Coast guys. So
Oh yeah, Weber.
at this point, the show's gonna go on when it goes on. So that's just the way it gonna be. But I appreciate everyone tuning in. Yeah, we'll get there. Tuning in tonight to Spec deserves a shout for that.
Spec knows.
Tuning in
I gotta
tonight
watch it.
earlier than usual. Like we had over 100 people tune in on at a time that we don't normally have. I heard there's a new dope new Scooby-Doo review. Yes, Toy Op. Go check it out. Scooby-Doo Wave 1 from Jada Toys. Go check that out. And he's got a new intro he's very excited about. We need a new intro on this show. It's a little dated, Bobby. But guess what? That's my problem now, right? So I gotta figure that. I have to figure that out. What else we got here? Blah, 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 blah. I think that's it. Oh, right here. East Coast Cody. My biggest complaint about Fresh Monkeys Monster Force is they're about to drop 15 figures and 3 accessories pack at the
Ooh.
yes.
And
I know they're like, hey, we're all excited. The shipping containers here. Here you go. And it's like, man, it's like that whole thing when they talk about HasLabs and vehicles. Do you think about shelf space? I don't know. I mean, hey, they're running a great business. These figures are absolutely great. Go check out my review, Robo's review. I'm sure there's more out there, but yeah, 15 figures that are $38 a piece. Accessory packs are probably what, 20, 30, 40 bucks. I don't know about dropping all that at once. I don't know, but that's not for me to say. Cool. 3 hours, 30 minutes. That's it, Bobby. Bobby, Tony.
Hey,
Right,
Travis.
What up?
You ready for college football?
Beat
ASU,
Ohio.
baby. ASU, baby.
Beat Ohio.
Fuck yeah.
And we're going to
Let's do
be
this.
we playing Oklahoma.
You're playing Oklahoma.
Yeesh. We'll get it done. We got Bryce
Better.
Underwood now. We got a real quarterback. Well, not that our last quarterback wasn't real, but we got it. We're good. McCarty's great.
Travis is running back. Wait.
No. JJ McCarty's my guy, but we didn't have a line. That guy ran for his life. JJ McCarty ran for his life. So we're good. All right, guys. That's it. I'm out of here. We'll catch you later, huh? Peace.
Take care, Tom.